Colleges? How many more classrooms?
How many more movie theaters?
How many more houses of faith?
How many more shopping malls?
How many more street corners?
How many more?
How many more?
Enough.
Enough.
Enough. Enough.
Demand a plan.
Right now. As a mom.
As a dad. As a friend. As a husband.
As a wife.
As an American.
As an American.
As an American.
As a human being.
For the children of Sandy Hook.
Demand a plan. No more lists of names. It's not too soon.
It's too late.
Now is the time.
Before we all know someone who loved someone on that list.
No more lists.
No more.
Who they might have been. No more.
If we had just done something yesterday. It's time.
We can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
It's time.
Columbine.
Virginia Tech.
Tucson.
Aurora.
Fort Hood.
Oak Creek.
Newtown.
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 How many more? How many more? How many more colleges? How many more classrooms?
How many more movie theaters?
How many more houses of faith?
How many more shopping malls?
How many more street corners?
How many more?
How many more?
Enough.
Enough.
Enough. Enough.
Demand a plan.
Right now. As a mom.
As a dad. As a friend. As a husband.
As a wife.
As an American.
As an American.
As an American.
As a human being.
For the children of Sandy Hook.
Demand a plan. No more lists of names. It's not too soon.
It's too late.
Now is the time.
Before we all know someone who loved someone on that list.
No more lists.
No more.
Who they might have been. No more.
If we had just done something yesterday. It's time.
We can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time for our leaders to act.
Demand a plan. Right now.
Right now.
You! Demand it!
Enough.
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 Columbine.
Virginia Tech.
Tucson.
Aurora.
Fort Hood.
Oak Creek.
Newtown.
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 How many more? How many more? How many more colleges? How many more classrooms?
How many more movie theaters?
How many more houses of faith?
How many more shopping malls?
Welcome everybody to the show. Hold on. I know you guys are going to hear fans in the background, and I do apologize for that. I am turning them off now. It is a hot day here. So, before we start the show, obviously by the title you know what we're going to be talking about, and I do want to warn everybody, trigger warnings. Obviously it's a very sensitive subject, especially when it comes to children and the events that has happened this week. But before we continue on with remembering these beautiful souls, little updates and stuff. I know I made a post on 3.0, but I'm going to say it now. We weren't supposed to be live today, but my appointment for my dentist has changed. It's going to be on June 7th. So a lot of things have changed, so we're going to be live today, not Monday though. This Monday I have another appointment. Yes, a lot going on. And then we're going to be live that following Friday. So next week, no Monday show, but we will have a Friday show. And that's all the updates I have.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we didn't have to do a show about this, because I remember on Monday I said, I believe on Monday I said, hey, we're probably going to change the subject based on change of news, and I didn't think that another shooting would happen.
I don't think any of us, because Buffalo, Orange County, and now this, and also in Texas, more down south in Texas, they actually stopped another shooting.
Yeah, I mean,
happening. It's at least they stopped it, but
Yeah, it's a pretty shitty situation. But
Yeah. Again, it's sensitive topics, so, 18
yeah,
plus, no children around.
yeah,
But as you see on the screen right now, these beautiful souls were taken from us this week. And we're going to start it off by remembering them. What information that is given, because I know some parents probably didn't want, information. They're mourning anyways. The news shouldn't be
yeah,
up their bums anyways. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
It's a tough situation.
it's it's tough. So we're gonna remember them before we get into the nitty gritty of
For me,
what.
I guess the show has two parts. First, we're going to
Yes.
remember them, talk about the victims.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to talk about the piece of shit that did it.
The coward.
But we will focus in the second half is going to focus on the events, what went wrong,
Mm-hmm.
what is the truth information, and that's basically the concept of the show.
And we
Um,
don't want to make it political.
No, it's not going to be a
It's not
political.
gonna
I
be
mean, like,
political.
I'm not gonna be talking about Democrats, Republicans.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that type of shit because it's not political. It's basically poor, like, victims of a violent, sociopathic, evil person
Mm-hmm.
who unfortunately was able to grow up and was able to purchase a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to be talking about for
Mm-hmm.
first half. We're going to be talking about.
We're
So
and also we are not going to refer to the name of this coward. So no names of him. He's not going to get no recognition. He's not going to get no fame from us. That's for damn sure.
well, yeah. I mean, as he shouldn't. He's a piece of shit.
Yes, yes, fucking coward.
So,
but-
what do you want to start off with? You want to start with the video
Yeah,
first?
yes. Let me.
What's the
Again,
title of the
these are the
video?
children, and you're gonna see their pictures a lot.
Yeah, because this is what we should be seeing. You know, like these are the faces you need to remember.
Yeah.
You need to remember the victims who keep on dying from these shootings
Mhm.
because of these evil people, and people need to start watching their communities, watching out for these people who are evil, and start turning them in. You know, and don't sell them guns and stuff like that. Like this guy bought a gun when he turned 18.
Mhm.
This was after he was threatening people constantly. I don't understand how they would allow this. And also he was torturing and killing animals as well, which is a clear line of a serial killer.
Mhm.
So
There's a lot.
Anyway.
There's a lot to go on, but I just want everybody to know. I don't think we actually know why.
I think I have an idea that this
Yeah.
guy was definitely on the path, a dark path. This guy was, you know, I was hearing that they say that he was bullied and he was talking like
Yeah.
speech impediment. I also heard reports that he's torturing animals.
Mm-hmm.
A
There's
lot of
videos of this. He would send videos of this.
yeah, he would send videos of this. It's like this guy was clearly
Yeah.
should not have been anywhere near a gun.
No.
He shouldn't even been near a butter knife. But we'll get into that in the second half. Let's
Yeah.
go to you want to start the video of remembering
Yes.
the victims?
Remembering the victims of. I can never pronounce it. I'm just gonna say the Robb Elementary School shooting.
Uvalde. Uvalde. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I mispronounce it, please
Mhm.
don't get angry, guys.
This is from CBS Los Angeles, and they made up again. We probably will never find a video of all the victims and their story, but we're going to remember the ones that we do have access to right now. And we have to remember as well, the parents are mourning, so take that in consideration when you post. Don't make this political.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
that's the last thing you should do. That's what I get like very annoyed with. I saw people who were like, some people who were like anti-gun saying, well, you should ban all guns. And I've seen people that were like for guns saying, look, the cops didn't come soon enough, so you need to get a gun to defend yourself. It's like, guys,
No, there has to be middle ground.
yeah, you guys are just out of your mind, okay? This is like these children were slaughtered by this evil person. Stop picking sides.
And
You know
give the
what I would
family
like to.
time- You got to give the
Yeah.
family time to mourn. Their children were not for your political debate.
Yeah, I mean, what I want to do is really analyze what the mistakes were at the time,
Yes.
and that's the second half. And I want to remember the victims, because like, so this doesn't happen again. Maybe
Well,
people can actually, hopefully it doesn't happen again.
I'm hoping because this is Sandy Hook.
Yeah. All right. So it's
Okay.
you're at
I'm at
remembering the victims of
yeah.
the school shooting, and I'm ready to start when you are.
Okay, at 000 and pressing play now.
Anger and anguish tonight as families in Texas grieve the senseless loss of their children. We've also learned new information about the killer, and CBS News has obtained new video of the shooter as he charged towards the school. The 21 victims included 19 innocent children ranging in age from 10 to as young as 8 years old. One victim described as the sweetest little boy that I've ever known and so full of life. Others loved baseball, swimming, and dancing to TikTok videos. So in other words, your everyday American kids, extraordinarily loved, now extraordinarily missed. KCAL 9 political reporter Tom Wade is live now with the very latest on this tragedy. Tom.
Hi, Juan. Well, Governor Gavin Newsom today lashed out at Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott, ripping him for his positions on gun rights. Meanwhile, families of this mind-boggling tragedy are talking about their grief and their beautiful young children who they've lost.
She was just trying to do the right thing.
Angel Garza describing his beautiful daughter, Amerie Jo Garza. Angel is a med aide who responded to the scene. He would learn his daughter was among those who was gunned down.
I was aiding assistance. One little girl was just covered in blood, head to toe. Like, I thought she was injured. I asked her what was wrong, and she said she's okay. She was hysterical, saying that they shot her best friend, that they killed her best friend, and she's not breathing, and that she was trying to call the cops. And I asked the little girl the name, and she told me, she said Amerie.
There was also unimaginable heartbreak for another father who lost his daughter, Lexi Rubio.
I'm a cop. I'm a deputy here in Uvalde County. This is enough. This is enough.
Similar unspeakable grief for the family of 10-year-old Eliana Garcia. The family received confirmation of her death late last night.
She was very happy and very outgoing. Loved to dance and sing and play sports. She was big into family, enjoyed being with the family.
Also taken by the killer, teachers Eva Mireles and Irma Garcia. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says 18-year-old Salvador Ramos sent private messages about his plan before shooting his grandmother, then taking his grandmother's truck, crashing it, and barging into the school with an AR-15 assault rifle. This video shows him entering a back door just before noon. A Border Patrol agent from an elite SWAT unit shot and killed him a short time later, but only after he killed 19 children and two teachers in a class.
Paused.
One moment. So what I understand, and then we might get this the second half, that door in the back that he went into was jammed open by the teacher. So that she left it open. So that's something I did not know until like today.
Without she didn't think that a shooter.
Oh, I don't think anyone thought that. I'm saying that she basically jammed it open. I'm not sure if you were even allowed to do that, to be honest with you. So that's how he gained access into the place, was basically because the teacher jammed it open.
I know in my school, in high school, like if it was a hot day, like before summer vacation, we would open windows and doors, even the front doors. But also, it wasn't bad back when I was in school. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't. There was always, like, you know.
And, hi, I have PJ in the YouTube chat. Thanks for coming by.
Welcome, everybody.
And did you see the video of the parents standing outside while the officers were holding them? Yeah, we're going to talk about that in the other half, which is crazy to me. I heard reports that they were like prepared to pepper spray the parents. So, and they had, like, I think they handcuffed one of them. So, like, some crazy shit. That's the thing I would like to talk about. That actually gets me. You're gonna hear my anger with that one. But yeah. Then Luca Tony says that boy is wicked. Yeah, the shooter is a very evil person. And I don't use evil, that term, too much, but in this case, he's a very evil person. And if there is a hell, I hope he is the deepest bowels of it. Yeah, it was a simpler time.
Yeah.
So I guess in high school we got to leave for lunch. Yeah, I remember that too. We used to get pizzas. So that's probably how I gained the weight. I guess you can play. You continue the video.
Okay. Pressing play now.
Room. President Biden once again Wednesday speaking out on the horrors of what unfolded.
When in God's name will we do what needs to be done to, if not completely stop, fundamentally change the amount of the carnage that goes on in this country?
While Texas GOP Governor Greg Abbott was holding a press conference with an update on the massacre, his Democratic rival, Beto O'Rourke, interrupted, confronting Abbott on his position on gun laws.
You're out of line and an embarrassment.
Governor Newsom today also slamming Abbott for resisting gun control measures.
All the crap that you heard today in that press conference around evil and mental health.
Newsom went on to say no other country on earth comes anywhere close to the U.S. in gun violence. Newsom and state Democrats are working to pass new gun control measures, including a bill that would allow gun violence victims to sue gun manufacturers. It's modeled after the
Okay, so we're done with the video.
One.
Anger and anguish
Let me just read the next. The chat. So, I mean, besides these senators just using this as a political issue to basically jump, I don't understand why they do that. To me, that's just disgusting. I can clearly see why the Democrats are there, like, oh, we need gun control, we need to change this. But are you proposing anything that would change anything? Or are you just proposing bills that you are hoping to get some political points? If you want to change things, you know, maybe you should focus on not allowing 18-year-olds to immediately buy a gun.
Well, how old was the Sandy Hook guy?
Oh, how old was he, Sandy Hook guy? Do you know?
He was like between 16 and 18 too. I think I could be wrong, but he was a young man. All I know because he lived with his parents.
I think like if you got to be 21 to drink alcohol, maybe you have to be 21 to get a gun. Just a thought.
I think that too, because you can be 18 and you can go to fight for your country, go overseas and stuff.
Yeah.
But you have to be 21 to have a beer. No, it's off the board. 21. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean it's some crazy stuff. But anywho, let's go to the article. We'll go through the article of the kids. You know, because you tossed me at the what we know about the victims, Robb Elementary School.
The Texas. Oh no.
I could toss you the link one moment.
Yeah, toss me. Yeah, because we did. There's so many. Yo, there's so much.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that we were looking up. So this article is good because it actually goes through the names of each of the kids, a little bit of their background. So I think it's very important that we do this so we know who the victims are.
Is the video related?
It's related. It says it's just an article. I'm going to read it and you can scroll down.
Okay.
You know, so people. And I'll just go. So are you up with it?
Yes, I am.
So it starts off, one of the 10-year-olds aspired to be a lawyer someday, another loved video games and anything with wheels, and another was saving up for a trip to Disney World. More details emerging about the 19 children and 2 teachers who were killed after the gunman opened fire inside a classroom at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. As of Friday, all 21 of the victims have been publicly identified by the city of Uvalde. In the midst of the grief, Uvalde. Okay, thanks. Uvalde. In the midst of the grief, the family members are sharing photos and memories about the loved ones they lost in the Tuesday massacre, and from the big dreams they had, the simple things that brought them joy. So the first person is, I think you can probably read the name better.
Nevaeh Alyssa Bravo.
Yeah, thank you. Nevaeh Alyssa Bravo was 10 years old. Her cousin told the Washington Post. Austin Alea told the paper the family is devastated after losing Nevaeh, whom he said put a smile on every face. A funeral service are pending, according to online obituary, Hillcrest Memorial Funeral Home. Oh, man. Look at that little girl. It's just...
You know, we've been watching videos on this literally since it's happened.
Girl.
It doesn't get easier.
It doesn't.
It does not. It's...
I mean, at least with like the church shooting, like they were older people, they lived their lives,
Yeah.
and they actually, this was children. They didn't even have a chance.
I mean, both equally, like all the shootings, equally disgusting cowards who do that. But I guess when it comes to kids, you sit back and you go, she could have been something.
Yeah.
She had a future.
Yeah.
She just a baby to me. That's a baby
Yeah.
to me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
my God,
Yeah.
they're in paradise. There's no way they're anywhere else but in paradise right now.
Let's hope so. Let's hope the next life is better than this one.
Mm-hmm.
Jacqueline. Next one is Jacqueline Jeline Cazares. Is that how
Yeah.
you say this?
Cazares. Yeah.
Cazares. Thank you, man. Jacqueline Jeline Cazares was killed along with her cousin, Annabelle Rodriguez.
Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus.
Jacqueline Jeline Cazares was killed along with her cousin, friend, and classmate, Annabelle Guadalupe.
Guadalupe Rodriguez.
According to posts by her family on social media. She was she was full of love, full of life, and she would do anything for anybody. Cazares' father, uh, Jacinto,
Oh, Cazares' father, Jacinto Cazares.
thank you.
Jacinto.
Yeah, Jacinto Cazares told reporters in a video distributed by the writers quote, to me, she's a little firecracker, man. It comforts me a little bit to think she would be the one to help her friends in need. Cazares family, yeah. What is that? She was in communion or something?
I think this was her confirmation. Yeah.
Oh man.
Her confirmation, which was probably not too long ago before this.
Yeah. Cazares' family recently came together to celebrate her first communion. Yeah, it was a communion, her father said. Through COVID, through the death of a family member a year ago, it brought us together and it was something beautiful, he added. And now we're being brought together, but it is in tragedy. Jacinto Cazares arrived at the scene at Robb Elementary School shortly after he heard that something was going on, joined near the building front door by several other men who had children at the school. He told the Washington Post. He said he wanted to rush into the building as soon as he heard the gunshots coming from inside the school. There were 5 or 6 of us fathers hearing the gunshots, and the police officers were telling us to move back. Cazares told the paper, we didn't care about us. We didn't care about us. We wanted to storm the building. We were saying, let's go, because that is how we were, and we wanted to get our babies out. Hours later, he learned his daughter had been shot and killed, the Post reported. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jenny's right. I mean, yeah, 21. I strongly believe that the age of, difference when it comes to what you can and cannot do should just be at 21. You have to be 21 to drink, you have to be 21 to smoke a cigarette, but you have to be 18 and you could be trained with a gun. Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
And I think you need a psych evaluation before you get a gun.
Definitely.
To hand out guns to people who are just, you don't know their mental mentality, I think you need to have a psych evaluation. And I think, I know some people who are gun owners don't want to go through psych evaluations and stuff like that. I get it, but because of a few bad apples, you might say. But you're getting a weapon that can do mass killing at a large scale.
Yeah.
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 So maybe a little inconvenience so that this doesn't happen would probably be a good idea. Makina Lee Elrod.
Elrod.
Makina's mother, April Elrod, confirmed her child's death to CNN. Her smile would light up a room. Allison McCullough, Makina's aunt, told ABC she added that Makina loved to play softball, do gymnastics, and spend time with her family. She was a natural leader and loved school. McCullough described her niece as a light to all who knew her. She loved her family, friends so much, McCullough said. Yeah. You get these pictures, it's very haunting because you look at these pictures and and they're just
It
gone.
is. And when I went through this article the first time, like when I don't know, was it you who sent it or me? I don't know who.
You
but
sent it.
When I first went through it, I didn't look at the pictures.
Yeah,
Because
you know.
because just too much.
Yeah, because
But
it is
now
too much.
It's seeing it. It's just, why? I think everybody's asking that question. Why?
Well, I don't think we'll know why he did it. I think he was just a very evil and sick person.
Mm-hmm.
And when I sick, I'm not saying like mentally. He might be mentally sick, but he had. I think he had. He can't be resolved of all his consequences. Like what he did. What he did was he knew what he was doing, and he knew he was going to do an evil act, and he did it, and he targeted children. I believe someone is in the call right now. Hello, Reaper.
Hey, Reaper. What's
up?
What's up, Reaper?
And Jenny, that's the same thing too. When you see the pictures, I go, she could have been somebody.
Yeah.
So
Reaper, we're just going through the pictures of the kids that died in the Texas shooting.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So we're up to the Jose Flores Jr. So
there we go. I got.
What's your thought? What's your thoughts on the situation? Like, what's your opinion on the gun laws and stuff like that? While we have you.
So for me, I guess I have a little bit different idea of gun laws, as in, for me, we keep blaming a tool instead of the person that does it. Now, a law-abiding citizen is going to follow every gun law you put out there.
Sure.
Should we have universal background checks? I believe we should. There should be a national background check of everyone.
And checkup.
And I think
every so many years there should be a checkup. What, you renew your license for your car, why not your gun?
I think there should be a system where if someone is mentally ill, that we are going to that system should be there as a checks and balances for it. Now, are we going to make it harder for people to get firearms? I think, if a law-abiding citizen is going to go buy a firearm, they're going to jump through whatever hoop they need to.
Yeah, they're not going to mind the background checks. Yeah.
The only people that worry about the only people that will worry about background checks are the people that we should be worried about getting a gun.
Yeah, and do you think there should be some sort of psych evaluation for these people? Because I feel like, do you think that's me overstepping, or maybe like I'm just overreacting, or do you think that's a good idea to do?
I mean, if we go back to the very beginning founding of our country, I don't think anyone would be able to pass a psych eval because they were about to for our government.
Yeah, I think probably they would mostly fail.
And that reason of the Second Amendment was because they did not want the people to be controlled by the government. They wanted a way to, to be able to overthrow the government.
Yeah, and I understand that because we see that a lot in other countries.
There needs to be a better system of, for instance, the kid that went into the school, right?
Yeah.
How old was he?
18.
He just turned 18.
He bought a gun as soon as he turned 18. He bought a gun,
which was like a week ago or so.
And a bunch of, I think he bought like 150 round 5.56 rounds as well, I think, and 2 AR-15s.
And he got body vests. When I say he had a body vest on, he had a vest on, but from my knowledge from the police reports,
it wasn't plated.
It wasn't plated, so it was just like if you wore a dinner vest, it didn't do anything.
And I'm just going to read the comments. Lewis says, when I see them, I imagine their personalities. And the person also said, is there a motive? I haven't heard. There is no motive. Basically, he was on a text message. I watched the video. He was in a text message with some girl in Germany. He was trying to hook up with women on phone apps. And he was talking to some girl in Germany. And he was annoyed that his cell phone bill or something with his cell phone bill or something like that. and he's texting, waiting for his grandpa to leave. As soon as his grandpa leaves, he texts that he shot his grandma, being annoyed about his cell phone or something like that. And then he shot his grandma in the face. And then he told in the text, "I'm going to shoot up an elementary school."
We're gonna get to that video.
So that's basically. I would say the whole thing was maybe he got angry that she was talking about his cell phone bill or cell phone, and that was what sparked it all off. And maybe he was planning on it all, and that was just the spark that jumped it. But that's my understanding of his motive. It was kind of a sporadic thing. He just decided to do it on that moment.
Yeah. Well, we gotta
and
remember too, when we get to the second part, we'll get into more details of his past.
Yeah.
And his actions, which would probably make more sense of he was just a ticking time bomb. But I wish there was an actual concrete, like, it's not like the top shooter who had a manifesto. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. You know.
Oh, your son's 18. But he's
Oh,
smart.
jeez.
I know Jenny. Jenny's a sweet woman. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I mean, the problem is like the guy literally was threatening people constantly. He was killing animals, and he was basically threatening women online. And they just there was no real background check with this guy, and he's, you know what I mean, just that. So
And
Reaper,
that's the reason why universal background checks it should be a thing.
well,
Yeah.
here's the thing too. Like, when it came to the Buffalo shooter, they did do the person actually spoke up. The one who sold him the gun and the ammunition and stuff like that. Not the stock, by the way. That was modded, so it's illegal.
Yeah.
But he said he did a background check. He followed A, B, C, D, but there was nothing in his
Yeah.
records to talk about a year prior to
I
the
mean-
cops that he threatened to shoot up a school.
and usually they only stop selling you a gun unless it's like a felon. If you have no felonies, like literally, for instance, the Brooklyn shooter.
Even misdemeanors, though, depending on the misdemeanor.
No,
So
no,
here in Colorado, hold on. Here in Colorado, if you owe back child support or you have a misdemeanor on your record, it's going to take longer for your background check to come back.
Yeah, but the Brooklyn shooter.
If you owe outstanding parking tickets or you owe back child support, you're not getting that firearm.
Yeah, but the Brooklyn shooter, with the Brooklyn subway shooter, had like assault, had a bunch of other charges, burglary tools, burglary. He had like a bunch of misdemeanors, and he was able to get multiple guns.
Well, it's per state too. That's the thing too. Gun laws are per state; they're not universal. So the laws in Boston are going to be different than the laws in New York.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what was the whole what's that Ritterhouse thing? That's because he crossed state line. It got a little like, okay, which laws are we gonna?
Yeah, that's true.
So, it's different.
The next one, we'll continue with the
Jose
thing,
Flores Jr. Yeah.
and then we stop in between because there's 21. 21 people died, so this might take a while.
Yeah, but it's well worth it because these
I
kids,
know.
we need to remember them, and
Yeah.
not the horror. Like not the killer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm literally sitting at the movie theater where the Batman shooting happened.
I remember that.
Jeez.
Literally about to go see a movie in the same theater.
I remember that you were living there, and I remember when it happened, and I remember me and my ex-wife were freaking out because we know Reaper likes to go to the movies and likes to go out and stuff like that, and I remember that. That was
What's
it's
interesting
scary.
is we had tickets to that showing, and
Everybody
we
was
were gonna
dressing up for it, yeah.
gonna go see it because I was at camp at that year, and we were gonna go see it, and we had a bunch of staff that were like, "Oh, we want to go see it too," and they didn't have enough seats, so I ended up canceling mine and get a refund, and we went to see it down in the Springs.
See, little things like that. That's a little luck, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is scary.
It is scary.
I mean, it's scary now because you're like, every time you bring your kid to school, or every time you go out to a supermarket, or even every time you go to whatever place of worship that you believe in.
Yeah.
Safe places are becoming targeted more
Yeah.
and more, and they are right. They said this after the Buffalo. Most
In
likely
my-
this summer is going to be, hopefully, I'm hoping that this summer is not going to be bad, but they say that usually when one thing like this happens, a shooting like this, more happen, and it was Buffalo. Orange
Yeah.
County, then Texas, and then they stopped one in Texas, thank the gods, you know, because that
Yeah,
could have
so
been
it's
horrible.
so
The guy walking into the elementary walked past an armed police officer.
We're gonna get to that.
yeah, we're gonna get to
We're
that.
gonna
I
get to
mean,
that. We're gonna remember the kids first before we get angry.
yeah,
We're gonna do that, and then the second half we're going to be talking about the whole entire.
chronology of events that
Mm-hmm.
occurred, and also what was not done properly, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So Jose Flores Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Flores Jr. loved the baseball and video games. A 10-year-old Jose Flores Jr. was an amazing kid and big brother to his siblings. His father, Jose Flores Sr., told CNN that he loved baseball and video games. Quote, he was always, yeah, he was always full of energy, Flores said, ready to play until night. Uh, Jose Jr. wanted to be a police officer when he grew up because he wanted to protect others. His mother, Cynthia Flores, remembered how he would always help her around the house, especially when he came to his baby brother. He would just be like my little shadow, she told CNN Gary Touchman. He would just be helping me with the baby. He had a thing with babies, like my friend babies. He just had a thing with babies. He was always nice. Jose Jr.'s sister, Andrea Flores, was also in the fourth grade at Robb Elementary. Tough Andrea was in a different class than her brother, what she appreciated most about her older brother, she said, quote, that he would always support me and he would always play with me. So that's Jose Flores Jr. Next is Alina Ellie Garcia. We saw that in the video with the mother.
Yes, we saw this in the video in the beginning of the stream.
Yeah. So Alina Ellie Garcia 9 was identified as one of the victims of Uvalde, Texas shooting. Alina Ellie Garcia, I guess Ellie is her nickname, was 9 years old, about to turn 10. Family members told CNN affiliate CHOU. Rigillo Lugo and Nelda Lugo Garcia grandparents told the Los Angeles Times that she was a fourth grader at school and the second eldest of the 5 girls in the family. She loved the movie Encanto, cheerleading, and basketball, according to grandparents, and they said she dreamed of becoming a teacher. There's some background noise. Just making sure.
On my end?
No, I just heard some minor background noise. I'm not sure if it was from Reaper, so.
For me, because I have my bone conductors on.
Okay. So, pretty, yeah. So, what's your thoughts so far, Connie?
You know, you go through the stages of grief. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, when I first saw it, tears. Because it was such a shock. And at that time, when we originally first saw it was only 14.
Yeah.
And then, by the next day, it was 19. And today we found out there's still 4 more students in critical condition. They're being taken care of by the best doctor, which we'll get to that video. And it's just like, why? I'm angry now. Like now I don't sound it right now, but it's probably gonna come out. But
yeah,
is there any words?
I don't know if there is.
Only feelings.
So Arma Garcia was a teacher at Robb Elementary School. Arma Garcia was a teacher, a wife, and mother to 4 children, according to a GoFundMe set up to raise funds for her funeral expenses and family needs. What? They have to do a GoFundMe?
Teachers don't get paid. This might be the woman. I know one of the teachers that were taken. Their husband actually had a heart attack 2 days later and died as well because of the heartbreak.
Good news,
woman.
Yeah. So this woman, I think, I went to her GoFundMe for Joe and Arma Garcia. So her husband and her died. So the kids are left with.
Yeah.
So the kids are left.
The
Oh my.
husband died 2 days later of a massive heart attack.
Oh my god.
Hmm.
I mean, like their GoFundMe has got like $557,000, but I mean, I'm happy that they got enough, maybe more so. But it's like both their parents are dead. Holy fucking shit!
And I blame him. I blame this coward. Even the broken heart of the husband. I blame that on him too.
Yeah, he's a victim of this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Cowards.
I mean, I don't think that so he died because that's terrible. That is, and then Ginny says that is scary. Yeah, it is. Um, yeah, that's fucking crazy. Sorry, that took me aback for a moment. That was pretty bad. Quote, sweet, kind, loving, fun, with the greatest personality, a wonderful fourth grade teacher at Robb Elementary that was a victim in a Texas school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. She sacrificed herself protecting the kids in her classroom. She was a hero and she loved by many and will truly be missed, the campaign site rates. Garcia's nephew, John Martinez, told the Washington Post that officials informed the family that she helped shield students from the gunfire. Quote, I want her to be remembered as someone who sacrificed her life, put her life on the line for her kids, Martinez told the paper. They weren't just her students, those were the kids, and she put her life on the line. She lost her life to protect them. That's the type of person she was. 2 days after Garcia's death, her husband Joe suffered a fatal heart attack. The Archdiocese of San Antonio the pair's family says he died of a broken heart. Please keep our family in thoughts and prayers through the GoFundMe post. I truly believe Joe died of broken heart, and losing the love of his life of more than 25 years was much to bear. Garcia had been an educator for 23 years. According to her profile on Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District website, it was her 5th year co-teaching with Ava Merlis, who was also among the victims. That's crazy shit. That's crazy. That's
So many people affected. Even the survivors. You know, these kids witnessed. Not only did this coward take lives, destroyed families, but you also took the innocence of all the survivors away. Cause they're never going to be kids again.
Yeah. So the next person is Yuzio Garcia. Yuzio Garcia loved video games and anything with wheels. Okay. 10 years old, Yuzira Garcia was full of life, according to an uncle, Mitch Ranfro. He loved video games and anything with wheels. He leaves behind 2 sisters. Just one moment. Just 1 second. Sure.
These kids are so small.
Yeah.
They're so small. Like.
The sweetest little boy that I've ever known, Garcia's grandfather Manny Ruffo told CNN affiliate KSAT, I'm not just saying that because he was my grandkid. Azora last visited his grandfather in San Angelo during his spring break. Renfro recalls tossing around a football with him and how quickly his grandson took to the sport. Quote, we started throwing the football together and I was teaching him passing patterns. Such as a fast little boy, he could catch a ball so good. Renfro said there were certain plays that I would call that he would remember and he would do it exactly like we practiced. So that's Zero Garcia. Is that how you pronounce his first name? Uzero? Uziria?
Uzziah, I think it
Uzziah.
is. I think
Thank
it
you,
is.
Uzziah.
I think.
Thank you.
Again, we mean no disrespect. It's, you know.
A. Marie Joe Garza. Oh, this is the father, right?
Yes.
This is the father we saw in the video.
Yes, in the video. Yeah. This poor. Oh God. Yeah.
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 Marie Jo Garza had recently just turned 10 years old, and her family had fulfilled her birthday wishes by gifting her a phone. Her father, Angel Garza, told CNN Anderson Cooper Wednesday. Garza eventually learned from two students that his daughter tried to use her new phone to call authorities during the shooting. He is a med aid, he explained, and when he responded to the scene, he saw a girl covered in blood who told him that someone had shot her best friend. When Garza asked who her best friend was, the girl replied, A. Marie, his daughter. So imagine being in a situation where you just basically find out your daughter died from a girl covered in blood.
I
That's
know.
fucking nightmare fuel.
The whole
That's
entire thing is just.
Yeah, that's just pure nightmare fuel. So I'll continue the article. I just want people to know she died trying to save her classmate, Garza said. She just wanted to save everyone. The family has been trying to cope with the Emery's death. Garza said his 3-year-old son has been asking for his sister every morning when he wakes up. We quote, we informed him that his sister is now with God and she will no longer be with us, he said through tears. Garza added, breaking down, she was the sweetest girl who did nothing wrong. I just want to know what she did to be a victim.
I guess that's all we want to know too, and I
Yeah.
hope we find something.
I think it's just one of those senseless violent situations, and
was he killed?
Who was killed?
Yeah, he was killed. The coward.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, after 40 minutes of the cops basically sitting on their hands while the guy had enough time to slaughter a classroom of children, he was eventually. They brought in the tactical team to go and attack him because the armed police officers who had a bunch of guns and rifles weren't enough to take down one guy with an AR-15.
Mind you, he had a body vest on, but the thing is, body armor, but it had no plates in it. It's basically the same as a dinner vest, like you would wear to go to a restaurant.
Yeah, but we're jumping a little ahead.
I have to go into this movie, unfortunately, but have a good live.
All right, man.
Be safe, man.
All right,
you be safe, man. Bye. Unfortunately, I mean, if you saw the video, they had all rifles, the people guarding the parents. So I think they were properly armed. They weren't like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm jumping a little ahead, but, you know, the Buffalo security guard only had a handgun. And he shot at the guy with body vest, and he was protecting people.
He did something.
You know what I mean? Like, he was just by himself. He didn't have a rifle. He didn't have a tactical vest. But yet he was able to defend and save those lives. So, you know...
They hesitated. Let's be real. They hesitated. For a long time.
Yeah, it is. It's the exact same thing that happened. So, next is Joyce Carmelo... How do you spell it?
Jace Carmelo Lavanzio?
Lavanzios.
I think it is.
Lavanzios.
I do apologize. There's no accent mark, so I don't know.
So, he has a GoFundMe, is raising funds for Joyce Lavanzios' funeral expenses and family needs. CNN has confirmed. And luckily, there was a lot of generous people that donated and helped this person out. 1,300 of them.
Good.
They have $81,000 for the funeral. So maybe they'll get that money. Maybe they'll donate. I don't know. I mean, but it's just. I don't think any amount is enough for a child to die. But
no.
Quote, we were deeply saddened by the news we received from the Robb school shooting. It breaks my heart having to create a fundraiser for such a need. But Joyce's parents, Christina and Jose Laveras, need as much help as possible in these terrible times. Jose's, Jose's,
where is it?
Jose's Cardano?
Where do...
It's like Jesus, but it's Jose's, right?
Yeah, it's Jose.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I had to scroll down. While you read, I have the picture up. So I had to find it.
Yeah, no problem. Who organized the verified GoFundMe campaign said on the site. Lavano's grandfather, Camilo Quagroz, told USA Today that the 10-year-old and his mother lived with him. He said, Joyce was happy and loved. He was our baby. Veronica Lanvanas, Joyce, aunt and mother of the shooting victim, Jalaya Nicole Silguro posted a picture Wednesday on Facebook of her daughter, Joyce, and wrote, "My baby, you didn't deserve this, neither did your classmates and cousin Joyce." Joyce. Yeah. Next is
Xavier.
next Xavier Javio Lopez. No, I was just like stop for a moment when I see AB honor roll.
These kids were going places, y'all.
Yeah, like oh my god, man.
They were going places, and
Yeah. So
no, go ahead. Sorry, it's
just hours before he was killed, a 10-year-old Xavier Lopez was lauded at Robb Elementary's honor roll ceremony. His mother, Felicia Martinez, told the Washington Post. Martinez took a photo of her fourth grader and told him she was proud of him and loved him. That was the last moment she was to share with her mama's boy. Quote, he was funny, never serious, and his smile. Felicia Martinez told the Post, her voice breaking, the smile will never forget. It would always cheer anyone up. Just a few days shy of completing his last year of elementary school, Xavier was counting down to his official move up to academic ladder into Flores Middle School in Uvalde. His mother told the Post he really couldn't wait to go to middle school, she said. Next is Tess Marie Mata. Kind of looks like angel wings in the background of the picture.
Oh,
so.
that's a Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like angel wings, though. Yes.
That's what I thought when I first saw the video. With the picture. Tess Marie Mata, 10 years old, was saving up for a family trip to Disney World. She didn't get to go to Disney World.
She's there now.
Yeah.
She's there now.
Tess Marie Mata, 10, had been saving money for a trip to Disney World with her family before she was killed at Robb Elementary. Her sister, Faith Mata, told the Washington Post. Tess was in the 4th grade and loved TikTok dances, Arena Grande and Houston Ostras, and Faith Mata told the Post. My precious angel, you are loved so deeply. In my eyes, you are not a victim, but a survivor.
Exactly.
I love you all. I love you always, and Post forever, baby sister. May your wings soar higher than you could ever dream. Faith Mata wrote on Twitter. Yeah. Next is Miranda Mathis. 11 years old. Miranda Mathis was 11 years old. The city of Uvalde's website confirmed her as one of the victims. Leslie Rios, who identified herself as a friend of Mathis' mother, told the Washington Post that Mathis was a bright girl who was fun and spunky. She said that Miranda's best friend was her brother, and he was also Robb Elementary when the shooting happened. On Wednesday, Mathis' cousin, Deanna Miller, posted on Facebook, "My sweet baby cousin, we loved you dearly. I'm so sorry this happened to you, baby. Please keep my family in your prayers." So, yeah. So, yeah, it's a pretty sad situation, Benny and Lois. It's a very sad situation.
It's just, I think what's irking me the most is that it's safe places.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be a shock because we've lived this before.
Yeah,
But it's still a shock. Do you get it? Because I thought things were done.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think it could have gotten any worse than the top shooting, to be honest with you. But the world surprises me, unfortunately, not in a good way. Eva Merlis. Eva Merlis was a teacher at Robb Elementary. Eva Merlis was a 4th grade teacher at the elementary's family. Let me start. Eva Morales was a fourth grade teacher at the school. Family members told CNN. Morales had been an educator for 17 years. Erica Torres recalled the care with which Morales treated her son Stanley, who has autism, while he was in her 3rd and 4th grade classes. In an effort to stop him from wandering around the school, Morales put Stanley in charge of rounding up students to get to class. So this was a teacher that actually cared and really watched out for the kids, and this is how that happened. She made you feel like she was only teaching your child, Torres said, like there's no other student but him. She made you feel so good. Barla's daughter, Andeline, tweeted a tribute to her mother Wednesday. A family member confirmed to CNN. The tweet also included a picture of Andeline and her mom. Quote, Mom, you are a hero. I keep telling myself that this isn't real. I just want to hear your voice. The tribute read, I want to thank you, Mom, for being such an inspiration to me. I will forever be so proud to be your daughter, my sweet mommy. I will see you again. One. Yeah, I mean, that's terrible to lose a parent like that. Next is Alethea Ramirez.
Ramirez, yeah.
Ramirez, thank you. Ramirez. 10-year-old Alethea Ramirez was in fourth grade and loved to draw. Her father, Ryan Ramirez, told CNN affiliate KSAT Alethea Alethea wanted to be an artist. On Wednesday morning, her father posted a photo of Alethea with an angel wings on Facebook. Alethea's grandmother, Rosa Maria Ramirez, told ABC News she was a very talented little girl. She was sweet. She was sweet, real sweet. And next is Annabelle
Guadalupe Rodriguez.
Annabelle Guadalupe Rodriguez was 10 years old. Family members told CNN affiliate True TV. Her family told the news station that she was in the same classroom as her cousin, Jacqueline Jeline Cazares, who was also killed in the shooting. And she was also honest.
Hold on. These honor roll pictures were taken the same day?
I don't know that. Do you see that?
Well, the last gentleman, little man we saw, who was taken, he had honor roll that day, and his mother was there for the ceremony. He was finishing the rest of the school day, and that's when it happened. So I think these are pictures that happened a couple hours after, before.
Before. Yeah.
I think so, because when they do honor roll and stuff, I don't know about other schools. They usually did it in the morning so the parents can come, take their lunch break type deal and see their kids get honor roll, and then they continue on with the school day. So I guess I'm not too sure. It could have been the day before, but this was this year's honor roll, as you can see, 22.
Sooth Bombs on the chat. She says, I was not expecting you guys live. How are you feeling, Tony? Tony did not get his dentist appointment. He's getting the 7th, I think.
It's at the 7th at 11:30 a.m. They had a change.
Yeah.
There was a scheduling conflict. They had me down for a cleaning, and she was confirming it with me a couple days ago, and I was like, I'm not there for a cleaning. I'm here for A, B, and C. And they're like, oh, we don't have enough time for that. Can you move it? And I was like, sure.
Yeah. So we figured to do the show today. So just in case anything pops up on Monday, maybe do the show on Monday. Sooth Bombs says, yes, they had a award ceremony 2 hours before the shooting.
Thank you. That's
oh, God, that makes these photos seem like such like
this
is
what she was. I'm getting teary. I'm sorry, but this is what she was wearing.
Yeah, exactly what she was wearing the day she was shot.
And look how proud they were. Look at how proud. Honor roll.
Well, they had the full potential of their lives. It could have been anything.
And music. Look at that talent. These kids had.
Yeah.
These kids could have done something.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be wonderful or perfect. But it was something. Do you get what I'm saying? They could have done something.
Yeah. Next is Mati Rodriguez. Mati Rodriguez loved animals, sewing, and photography. Mati Rodriguez 10 dreamed of becoming a marine biologist and had her heart set on attending Texas A&M in Corpus Christi, said her mother, Ana Rodriguez, on Facebook. Monte was sweet, charismatic, loving, caring, loyal, free, ambitious, funny, silly, goal-driven, and her best friend, she said. Ana Rodriguez wrote that her daughter loved animals, photography, and learned to sew on her own by watching YouTube videos. Rodriguez ended her Facebook post with a message to her daughter, which read, "It's not goodbye, I'll see you later, my sweet girl, I love you." Yeah, so this girl was a very talented little girl. She probably would went
All
very
of
far in
them.
life.
All
Yeah,
of them had the potential, just fucking stolen. It's just.
yeah. Did we see the conference? We saw a couple of press conferences. We saw a
If
couple.
there is a conference that we should see that we probably skip, send it in the group chat. If you can, please, the Discord chat, please.
Yeah.
And thank you in advance too. There's just so much.
Yeah, we have a lot of
We
material to
have
cover.
a lot, yeah.
But we're covering the most important part, which is the names of the victims, and then we'll cover about the facts of the case and stuff like that.
Yeah. People need to see their faces.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more important than everything else, actually, because this is what it's all about. This is the whole situation's about. You know what I
And
mean?
it's not like we have speculations of what and we have our opinions of why. It's just there's nothing. It's just all done. I hope nothing
Yeah.
else happens. You know what I mean? This is enough.
Yeah, let's stop. This is not good. Alexandria Lexi, quote, Rubio. Lexi Rubio, 10. Lexi Rubio was 10 years old and had just made the honor roll. So all these kids were like honor roll students.
And she was in the same basketball team as that other little one.
So these were like all really smart kids, high achievers, and this asshole who's a piece of shit, low achiever, goes in there and kills them. Lexi Rubio 10 made the all A honor roll and received Good Citizen Award. Her parents, Felix and Kimberly Rubio, told CNN just before the shooting the two had just celebrated their daughter's achievement at school. We told her we loved her and we would pick her up after school. We had no idea this was goodbye, Kimberly Rubio wrote in her post on Friday. The parents told CNN that they were proud of the daughter who loved softball and basketball, and she wanted to be a lawyer when she grew up. The family told CNN she was kind, sweet, appreciated in life. She was going to be an all-star in softball and had a bright future, whether it's sports, academic. Please let the world know we miss her. Miss our baby. Felix Rubio, a deputy with the Uvalde County Sheriff Office, told CNN Jason Corral he was one of many authorities who responded to the scene of the shooting. The grieving father said he wants to see the gun violence addressed. All I can hope is that she's just not a number, he said through tears. This is enough. No one else needs to go through this. We never need to go through this, but we are. Yeah. That's why it's like showing the faces, because it's easy people to shoot out gun statistics and all that shit, but until you see the victims and the people's faces, it doesn't really just snap in there, if you catch my drift.
And this is a father's plea, what he
Yeah.
just said. Please take in consideration of that next time you start shooting out all the political shit. This is a father who's saying, please make it stop. I don't want no other parent to feel this way.
Exactly. Did you get a link to Soup Bomb's thing?
Let me see. Hold on, let me check real quick. No, I did not.
But where did you send that link? Because I saw a notice, Soup Bomb. I just didn't see where it went. Come on, Mom. Sorry for the dead air, guys. I'm just looking around to see where it went. Yeah, I can't find it. I don't know where it went. Disappeared into the ether. I'll look for it in a moment. Layla Salazar. Layla Salazar, 11, loved to run, film, TikTok videos, and dance. Layla Salazar, 11, made to swim with her two older brothers, her family told CNN. She was an active child who loved to run, film TikTok videos, dance. Her parents, Vincent Salazar III and Melinda Alejandro Salazar, said, our hearts are shattered because of this, her grandfather, Vincent Salazar Jr., said. So that's at Layla Salazar. That's her father, looks like, in the picture. How do you say the next one? Jelaya Nicole.
Silgurbo.
How do you say it?
I don't know, actually. Jalaya?
Nicole Singaro? Silgaro?
Suguro. I think. Again, sorry. There's no accent mark, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, this community was obviously this
Yeah,
community
this was
was
all
a
Spa-
very Mexicana community. So
even
yeah,
the shooter was Mexican.
yeah,
So I mean,
it was a very Mexicana.
yeah.
It's just really sad. So we do apologize if we do. I don't think I don't think CNN properly wrote down their names with the accent marks, so it's hard for me to.
Yeah, I'm trying to go with the phonetic English, and sometimes it
Yeah.
doesn't jive at all. And just like Jose, it just doesn't
Yeah.
jive. Jalea Nicole Singaro was 10 years old and enjoyed dancing and making TikTok videos. Her mother, Veronica Luvanios, told CNN network partners Univision. Luvanios said in an interview that her daughter asked to stay home from school Tuesday morning, but she said no. Wow, that's terrible
Wow.
guilt.
That's
That
guilt. But again, the parents should not feel guilty. They
No,
didn't
I get
know,
it,
you know.
but it's just still it's
Yeah,
still tough,
you can
because
say
you're
that to
like,
them, but the thing is, they're gonna feel their parents.
yeah, they're gonna feel like it's guilt.
Yeah.
Nancy Salazar, a family friend, started a GoFundMe page to help see the GoFundMe. There's no hyperlink to the GoFundMe French, and wrote that Sagara was a delighted, angelic, lovely little girl. Lavanos also told Univision that she lost her nephew in a shooting, but did not give his name. Yeah, and just so everyone knows, we went through two GoFundMe. The GoFundMe looks like they're being raised. They passed their goals. But I mean, like, what's surprising to me is that the state of Texas, has not offered to give them money for the funeral or something. Like, I don't
Sandy
know why.
Hook did, didn't they?
Yeah, it's like, guys, why don't you like help out the families? Why do they have to go out of pocket to pay for the funeral of the kids when they were in your care? Maybe you should probably do something like that. I don't know. Maybe hold like a mass, funeral for all these kids. And the two teachers. Uh, Elihana Elijah Cruz Torres.
Elijah.
Elijah.
Cruz.
Yeah, but it says Ilahana. What is Ilahana? Yeah.
Alana.
Halana.
I think. There's no picture to this child, and I do apologize.
Yeah, Cruz Torres 10 was also killed in a shooting. Her aunt, Landria Vera, told CNN, "Our baby gained her wings," Vera said. Then we have Rogelio Torres, Robb Elementary victim. Rahulio Torres. I'm going with yours, but you're the specialty on this.
No, please, I'm not special to. I'm Portuguese. I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah, you're better than me. You're doing better than me. Torres was 10 years old. His aunt, Precious Perez told CNN affiliate KSAT. The family waltzed nearly 12 hours to find out if her nephew was one of the victims, Perez said. "We are devastated, heartbroken," she said. Roger was a very intelligent, hard-working, and helpful person. He will be missed and never forgotten. Before receiving the news about her son, Torres' father, Fidocio Torres, told CNN affiliate KHOU that he learned about the shooting through friends. He left work, rushed to the school, but officials there did not give him information right away, he said. In the Facebook post, Torres' mother, Ivadolia Oda, posted a photo of her son and wrote, "R.I.P. Rest in peace to my son, Julio Torres. We love you and we miss you." So that's the end of the article. I think that's all the names we got available.
Yeah, I don't think we had all the children here, but again,
Yeah.
I have to respect the parents' silence right now.
Yeah.
But the ones that we do, we have talked about.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty crazy situation. Very crazy situation. So we went through the situation. I guess now we can go to the events of what happened. So wait one moment.
Let me see that.
So what video do you want to talk about?
I'm looking through again. Sorry, y'all. There's so many videos.
Let's go to the doctor's report. The CNN doctor treating
you wanna
shooting.
do the doctor? Okay, so this is from CNN. This is an update on what's going on with. There are still.
This morning, several victims.
Let me pause it real quick. There are several, I think 4 children still in critical condition right now.
Yeah.
And the doctor that is talking in this video is going to explain everything that is going on. Again, this is from CNN. The title is Doctor Treating Shooting Victims Gives Update. So this is an update. And
yeah.
Y'all, and I don't care what religion you believe in, what God you believe in. I don't care. But these children that are in the hospital right now in these conditions need prayers. Again, this video was also posted yesterday. But we have no updates as of, it's only been like 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
let's play the video.
I'm at 1 second.
All right.
Okay, and pressing play now.
Of this shooting are still being treated for their wounds in hospitals around the area. Joining us now is Dr. Lillian Liao, Pediatric Trauma Medical Director at University Health in San Antonio. Her hospital is caring for 4 of the victims of this massacre. And according to officials, not the hospital, but according to officials, it includes the 66-year-old grandmother of the shooter. Doctor, I want to start with the status of the children you are still caring for. How are they doing this morning?
The children that we received are all doing well. They are critical but stable, and will be continuing to receive care over the next days to weeks.
You say critical but stable. Can you tell me more about what that means?
That means that the patient is receiving ongoing, continuous care. It means that the patient sustained serious injuries where multiple physicians, nurses, and other care providers have to monitor them in an interval that's more frequent than a minor injury.
And again, at this point, it's 3 children that you are still treating this morning?
We are. We initially received 3 patients, and we're hoping that some of them can get released in the next few days.
That'd be wonderful. I'm sure that those children would love to get home. And I know you can't give us specifics about the nature of the injuries or wounds or issues they were dealing with, but broadly speaking, what were some of the things that you were treating?
Broadly speaking, we were treating destructive wounds.
I'm gonna pause this real quick.
Yeah.
I want people to understand it's really hard to hear her. There is subtitle options in your settings, either if you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook. There is, you can get captions. Clearly she's torn up. Clearly.
She looks like she's been crying. She looks like she's been crying the entire time.
Oh yeah, the whole entire interview, she's trying to be professional, but the reality of it is, a doctor, they know what they signed up for. They're gonna see all types of injuries, all types of conditions.
Yeah.
But it's just like with police officers and EMTs and firefighters. They're prepared to see all things, but when it comes to kids, it's it hits different, even if you're not a parent.
Yeah, so...
but I just wanted to make it clear because it's going to be a little bit hard to hear because she is tearing up, rightfully so. So please put subtitles on. I'm at 2 minutes and 9 seconds.
Okay, continue.
Play
and
now.
What that means is that there were large areas of tissue missing from the body, and they required emergency surgery because there was significant blood loss.
Dr. Liao, I know this is your job, but I also know that not every day is the same, and that this had to be particularly difficult for you and all of your colleagues. Can you talk about that?
Really?
Yeah, I think it was a difficult day for all of America. Um, from our standpoint, we had the experience of Sutherland Springs at our level 1 pediatric trauma center. And from that experience, we learned and we prepared for this mass casualty event and gathered teams of surgeons, anesthesiologists, pediatricians very quickly. And we waited. And also from the last experience, we realized that when we're dealing with high velocity firearm injuries, we may not get a whole lot of patients. And I think that's what's hit us the most, not of the patients that we did receive, and we are honored to treat them, but the patients that we did not receive. That I think that is the most challenging aspect of our job right now.
I was at Sutherland Springs, and what a commentary, I think, at this point, that you have experience. It says something that you and your teammates are experienced in dealing with mass shooter events. And as you said, in a way, it is unusual to receive injuries that you can treat. I do also know that there were some who arrived deceased already at the hospital, which makes it even harder. As I said, officials have told us that one of the patients being treated at your facility is the grandmother, the 66-year-old woman who was shot by the killer here. Anything you can tell us about her condition this morning?
She's critical but stable as well.
Critical but stable as well. Do you anticipate she'd be able to be released in the coming days?
I don't think we can talk about that.
Yeah, they can't talk about it, yeah.
Or release that. The
Improving,
hospital will
though?
release more information. What's
Understood. Understood. How?
Wait, he wants to have an interview with the
Dr.
grandmother?
How are you doing this morning?
You know, once she gets out of the hospital, they're gonna.
I'm doing great.
Vultures.
Vultures. I am got a full day of surgeries planned for our team. Looking forward to seeing our patients this morning on rounds, and like everybody, probably a little shooken up, but my job is to be focused. Our job as a trauma center is to be focused on treating the patients that we did receive, and that's what we're going to do today.
Okay, mister, end the interview now. Don't continue this interview.
You're a
It goes
wonderful
on for another
physician.
4 minutes.
You're also a decent human being, and we appreciate the work that you're doing.
What was that?
We appreciate your humanity,
Hold
and
on,
just know
pausing
that
it
we
real
all
quick.
feel.
What was that? Did somebody come in?
No, no one came in.
Okay, no, I heard like a notification. I do apologize, y'all. 6 minutes and 12 seconds, pressing play, now.
We all feel like you do this morning, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
As the initial shock of this
I guess we can stop it here.
sets in.
Okay. So, there are other, from my understanding, Blau can correct me and check the numbers. There was 21 in total, 19 kids, 2 adults, the 2 female teachers that we read about earlier. But there was word there was 17 wounded and in different types of level of condition. 4 of them, we know now, are in critical condition, but stable too. And the grandmother, who I heard was also shot in the head.
Yeah, she survived.
Shockingly, is in... Yeah, she survived. She's in obviously critical condition, but stable as well. We don't know the extent.
Yeah.
But when you're shot, there's going to be... I don't think the grandmother's going to be able to say much when you're shot in the head. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's kind of a given at that point.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, there's some
I don't know.
miracles out there. There are some miracles of people surviving. and having full brain capacity. There are, but I was really hoping the grandmother would be able to shine some light into it, because it doesn't seem like the grandfather is.
Well, the grandfather's like doesn't know what the hell's going on.
No.
I don't even think he knew he had a gun.
No, the grandfather said, from the news I saw, the grandfather himself is a felon, but he did his time, so don't jump on him by all
Yeah,
means.
I'm not jumping
No,
on him.
not you. I mean the audience. Don't, usually, there's felons out there that have served their time and given back to their community. And he said along the lines of, I am a felon. If I knew there was a gun in the house, obviously I would have done something about it, because felons can't have guns, period. So,
Yeah.
So it can't be in the house either. It doesn't matter if it's owned to him or not, no guns in his residence. And from my understanding is that this coward lived with his grandparents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's a piece of shit. So, I guess we're going to the second half of the show.
Yeah.
And the second half of the show is what the hell happened. So let's go with the TikTok video, because I think it does a pretty good summary of like.
It does. Give me 1 second. I'm getting to it. I have it up here. This is from the House of Petty, which, hold on, let me pause it real quick.
Okay. It's.
He is a nurse, by the way. I've been following him since COVID. He's very.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, Frank. He's very intuitive. He knows his things. He's a nurse. Just an overall good guy. When he has an opinion, he usually backs it up with facts. So we're going to go to the second part of this, as Belial said, and what went wrong. We don't know why, but we do know what went wrong, and House of Petty is going to tell us right now. Pressing play now.
Okay. It's confirmed. For the 40 minutes before the tactical team arrived, police officers either stood outside the school while the shooter went and slaughtered children, or they went in and rescued their own children, but would not allow family members to go in and save their own. So it wasn't just that they saved their own kids, it's that they blocked family members from trying to save their kids. Like, here it is. Here it is. Pause to read. 40 minutes, kept the parents outside, went in and saved their own kids. How do we know?
We've heard that some law enforcement officers actually went into school to get their kids out. Can you talk about that?
Right, so what we do know, Vanessa, right now that there was some police officers, families trying to get their children out of the school because it was an active shooter situation.
Yes, family members were trying to get them out, but police officers blocked them from getting out.
That's crazy,
But
right?
no, the police officers went in and saved their own
All right,
kids.
Soup tossed me the news conference.
Went in and saved.
Okay, real quick, I just want to correct myself. The sound is from the House of Petty. The actual TikToker, his name is Muscles and Nursing. So please, credit goes to him. Go follow him. He has more videos. He does not pussyfoot around when he makes his videos, by the way. So.
Yeah, now, what people don't realize is that, I'm just sending a hi and I'm sending his video, but let's go to the video where basically they don't do anything and they just like stop the parents from actually helping the family. Here, I'll toss you the.
Yeah, there's so many. I apologize, y'all. I really do.
So what he's talking about is that in the beginning of the whole thing, during the situation, the parents tried to come in, and just to give you an idea, here's a video. I'm tossing it to Tony now. It's called "Parents Plead for the Police to Enter the Texas School."
Mind you, these are recordings as well. Obviously, when we live in an age where people can record things that you will not see on the news, that people won't talk about.
Yeah.
And this is from Associated Press.
Yeah, thank you, Slipper. I got your video. We're gonna play it, but first we're gonna play this little video to show you what we're talking about when they acted like that. And also, Frank, hey, just popping in to say health. It's always welcome to see you, Frank.
Hey, Frank. I hope everything is well over there and y'all are keeping safe.
Yeah. So we're gonna play it at 0. So this is a video showing what the parents are doing. So you see all these. Now I want you guys to focus on the police officers and their weapons a little bit. Focus on the vests, and tell me if they needed to wait 40 fucking minutes for a tactical team to come in. All right, so let's play.
Okay, pressing play now.
See, they're trying to handcuff that one person.
Yeah.
They're handcuffing a parent. Look at that. He's got rifles. He's got a...
Mind you, y'all, the parents were hearing the shooting.
Hey, we got guys going in to get kids, okay? They're working.
Well, they got guys coming in a few minutes, like a fucking order. So let's go back. Let's go to. Well, I'm just gonna put the. I want you to pause on something. Let me see the second that you want to. I want you to pause on 33 seconds, and just stop there. I'm just gonna look at the police officer guarding the people there for a moment.
Look at him just standing there behind.
Yeah, they did. They did, and they also put parents in handcuffs.
I saw one getting pinned up against the car. That's the one that was probably putting in handcuffs.
So like, look at the guy at 33 seconds and just pause. And I just want you to show everyone 33 seconds.
This is 33 seconds right now.
Okay, so look at the weapon the man has. Look at the tactical vest he has. They have multiple guys policing the parents, telling them to wait while they're not even going in there. Am I like out of my mind or something?
Well, here's the kicker too. Again, this is a small Mexican community, and you know, a lot of the police officers there had kids in the schools. So those police officers obviously did what parents all wanted to do, was to get in there and save their child.
And none of them stopped those guys.
But then they stopped the parents that were not. Do you get what
I'm
saying?
let's count.
That's what parents want to do, though. I don't care. Like if I was a parent and there's a shooter, I don't care. I want to save my kid.
Like, I think you're escaping the point. Let's count the officers. How many officers it takes to stop all the parents?
This is ridiculous. This is stupid.
How many officers? Yeah, but how many officers would you guess? I would guess like about 20 officers. There was like 20.
No, there's a lot because Border Control was there too, and so was the police department, and there was another department. There was 3 different departments there, so I'm guessing more.
So, do you think the parents would just stayed there by themselves if they said, "Okay, we're going into the building now. There's 20 of us. No, you guys stay here." They would probably have stayed. They wouldn't be needing to be policed. They would probably let you go into the goddamn building. You all had firearms. You all had guns, and you did nothing. I mean, and then they're called. What pisses me off, and I'm going off the keel right now. It's like the press conferences I sit down, it's like, they're heroes. They're heroes. I'm like, guys, you know the story about the dragon and the knight that kills a dragon and saves the princess? It's not a hero story if the knight basically lets a dragon eat the woman while he sits down there and watches and waits for the next knight to come in to slay the dragon. That's not a hero. The guy who sits there and watches the princess getting eaten by the dragon and watches and does nothing is not a hero. Do you know who was a hero? The guy who was in Buffalo. The fucking security guard who took out a handgun against a modified... Yeah.
The teachers that acted like body shields.
Yeah, those are heroes. Those are heroes. Cops who just sat around and just like basically waited like 45 minutes. 45 minutes, maybe 10 minutes was excusable. Maybe even 20 minutes is excusable, okay?
Because you don't know if there's explosives or anything, but once you hear gunfire, shouldn't their reaction be...
Like, who are they shooting at if they're not shooting at him? Then it's like, okay, this has changed from a hostage situation to now he's slaughtering the kids. We need to go in now. That's my thought process in the whole thing. And I can't believe it. Tim, wait until we watch the press conference. You will even be more pissed. Let's watch the press conference.
Watch it. Now I want to watch it because I've gone through all the stages. I'm setting it up right now.
Because he lied. I remember I was watching Slay's video talk about this, and like I saw one representative. I shit you not. I think it was in Slay Says TCN, and I shit you not. One of the representatives for Texas literally says, "Well, you know, there was a lot of other kids in the school, and you know, we barricaded him in that room. He was barricaded, so he was acting like it was a good thing that this guy was barricading the classroom of children because not all the kids were going to be harmed. That they just barricaded in one room. And I sat there, I was like, so you're admitting that you sacrificed a classroom of children to save the rest of the school?
I hate that mentality. I've always hated that. Like, you know, when the bad guy goes, well, it's better to kill one person than millions of people. And I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
there always has to be. But then I have to also remind myself too, like, in this situation, do you think anybody could have done anything perfectly too? But waiting 45 minutes, there's no excuse for that.
I think I saw highlights of this press conference. And he basically admits, like, one of the things is like, yeah, we fucked up.
That's not.
Yeah, we fucked up.
That's not excusable. That's
that's
not. I don't accept it.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Smooth Mom, that a teacher propped the door open in the back. Propped it for him? No, I don't know if it was propped for him, but if he did prop it, wow, that would be... Originally, I heard it that she just propped the door before he came, but now you're saying that she propped the door for him? Holy shit. Okay, we gotta watch the press conference.
Okay, so this press conference is the Texas Department of Public Safety press conference on Robb Elementary School shooting. This is from We Are Iowa Local 5 News, so credit goes to them. The press conference is 43 minutes, so...
Let's jump to a minute and 5 seconds, because that's the usual setup. Let's see, a minute and 5 seconds.
Okay, we're going to go to a minute... Oh, come on. 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And we're going to watch this. Okay, pressing play now.
We're here to report the facts as we know them now, not to defend what was done or to criticize what was done or the actions taken. I'll begin first and foremost with the timeline as we know it. The second timeline I'll discuss is the 911 timeline. Then we'll talk about the relevant social or digital media footprint of the subject. Then we'll also have plenty of time for questions at that point. At 11:27, we know from video evidence, at 11:27, the exterior door suspected of where we knew the shooter entered, Ramos, was propped open by a teacher. 11:28, the suspect vehicle crashes
Wait, hold on,
into
pause. He said it exactly like how Sleuth Mom said it. Was propped open by a teacher.
Yeah, but she's saying that, like, the teacher propped the door open for him. So I don't know if she meant, like, she thought maybe, like, the guy was, like, a teacher, maybe, and she was letting him in, or she propped it open. I don't know. Hi, PJ. But, yeah, the door was propped open, definitely by a teacher. I just don't know the motivation for the propping open of the door.
Even, look at all the news, like, I'm reading all the news, even Telemundo's there.
Yeah, well, obviously, because of school full of kids who were Spanish, who got killed. You know.
Okay.
So let's continue the video.
2 minutes and 9 seconds.
All right, let's go.
Play now.
Ditch, as previously described. The teacher runs to the room 132 to retrieve a phone, and that same teacher walks back to the exit door, and door remains propped open.
What?
As reported by Regional Director Escalon yesterday, there were 2 males at a funeral home that when they heard the crash, they went to the crash scene. When they arrived at the crash scene, before they got there, they saw a man with a gun exit the passenger side with a backpack, and they immediately began running. Ramos began shooting at him. Did not hit him.
Oh my god. And no cops were notified right then and there? Gunshot?
Yeah.
One of the males fell when he was running. Both males returned to the funeral home while they're running. And then again, we see through video, teacher reemerges inside the school in panic and apparently calls 911. 911 call at 11:30. There was a crash, man with a gun. 11:31, the suspect reaches last row of vehicles in the school parking lot. 11:31, the suspect shooting began at the school while patrol vehicles got to the funeral home. I'll point out where it is. Crash vehicles over here. Suspect hiding behind a vehicle. started walking down, shooting into the classroom. There was a discussion early on that an ISD
Stop it.
consolidated.
Pausing it.
What's the response time in this fucking state, man? Like, if this shit
think the
happened,
crash would have been.
if this shit happened in New York City, there would be like 1,000 police officers immediately converging on this fucking school. Like, it would be no joke. Literally, like, the National Guard would probably be called in. This guy literally crashed his car, starts shooting at the people in the funeral home, like the people that exit the funeral home, and then starts shooting from the outside of the building into his classrooms.
Where those, I think where those red arrows are.
Yeah, those are
104
bullets.
And, yeah, 104, 103. Yeah.
And then Sooth Mom says that it was a correct. She propped it open, but she didn't know. You know what she says is no, not for him intentionally, but literally within a minute of him coming. So basically, yeah, a minute with him coming.
I mean, no, you gotta think too. Panic. You do stupid things. Panic. You know.
Well, she's probably. My guess is they thought the guy crashed, and they probably went out to try to like call the police, maybe like an ambulance or something. And maybe the people from the funeral home came to the guy's site to try to help him out, and then the guy comes out with a gun and starts shooting him.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened in the grand scheme. So let's continue.
Okay. I'm at 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Pressing play now.
ISD for Uvalde had officer, was a resource officer, and had confronted the subject. That did not happen, as R.D. Escalone talked about yesterday. It was certainly stated in preliminary interviews, but often these preliminary interviews and a cursory walkthrough doesn't reveal the type of information, and certainly, police officers, like anyone else, under stress, sometimes witnesses get it wrong. But the bottom line is that officer was not on scene, not on campus, but had heard the 911 call with a man with a gun, drove immediately to the area, sped to what he thought was the man with a gun, to the back of the school, what turned out to be a teacher, and not the suspect.
Stop it.
In doing so,
Stop it. Wait a minute. So you're telling me that he went to a teacher instead of the guy with the gun in the back?
Something's not right.
Like, does he not know what the teachers look like? Does he work here? Like, he doesn't know what the teacher looks like? This school doesn't look like a gigantic school.
And it was at the end of the school year. You would know any new staff. They wouldn't put new staff at the end of the school year.
So isn't this kind of worse than him confronting the guy and letting him pass if he just basically ignored the guy who crashed in front of the school, like the back of the school, and starts shooting, and he decides to go after the teacher that's coming from the other side? I mean, am I getting this wrong, or am I getting this right? Tell me in the comments, am I getting this wrong? Because that sounds like what he's saying. And then, like, they stood there and waited for him to kill those kids. Absolutely, they stood there for 40 minutes. Yeah, Supermom, he seems that way. Yeah, it's like they definitely did, and they all had weapons. No offense, I'm going to keep on saying this. The Buffalo fucking security guard had a handgun, and he went against a modified AR-15 and bulletproof vests, and he saved lives because he stalled the guy. He had a shootout with the guy. These guys had full tactical gear. They were there for like 10 minutes, full tactical gear, and they decided to hold off for the parents, the unarmed parents, and put handcuffs on them. And Smooth Mom says, yeah, a police officer was pursuing him through the whole parking lot, 12 minutes from the time he wrecked his truck and him walking into the school in 20 minutes, I think, until the first child was shot. What the fuck? And that guy was armed, too, with a gun, too, if I understood.
Yeah, and the police definitely need more funding now, don't they?
What they need is fucking hire people with brains. Jesus Christ. So, let's continue, because I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight, because I'm going to be so pissed.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, 4 minutes and 32 seconds, and pressing play now.
So he drove right by the suspect, who was hunkered down behind a vehicle, where he began shooting at the school.
Wait, turn it back.
So you want me to? Okay, I'm gonna rewind it 10 seconds.
Yeah, go to like 25, because I just heard something that was the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Okay, I went to 4:23.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go.
Okay, pressing play now.
Sped to what he thought was the man with a gun, to the back of the school, what turned out to be a teacher, and not the suspect. In doing so, he drove right by the suspect, who was hunkered down behind a vehicle, where he began shooting at the school.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
Pausing it. I'm pausing. I don't know about you, but if I'm looking for somebody, a shooter, wouldn't you be looking for a fucking gun? What does it matter if it looked like a teacher or not? Did it have a gun? Did it have a gun?
I don't think
see
you.
the
Yeah,
gun. You
I
would
think
see
you're.
the gun.
Yeah, I think you're missing the point. The guy is behind the car. He's shooting at the funeral home and the school.
Yeah.
And the guy drove past him to pursue an unarmed teacher. Am I getting this right? Am I like loony pills or something? Like, why is he pursuing the unarmed teacher and passing by the guy who literally has a gun shooting at the school?
Sleuth Mom, you were absolutely right. You were absolutely right. This is pissing me off, and we're only not even 5 minutes in.
This is like a level of incompetence I have rarely ever seen.
And this is the thing, though. I want to just say this real quick. For me, remembering Sandy Hook, and believe me, we were all glued to the TV then. When the cops got there, the damage was already done. They didn't get there. Like, they got there as fast as they could, but I think the suspect already, as far as I remember. But they got there in a certain amount of time where it's like, okay, there was nothing that we could do except do what we had to do. These people had almost an hour.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. I hope they sue the fuck out of that police department.
Yeah, well,
I mean, money's not going to replace a child, obviously.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. But let's continue the video. We're only 4 minutes and 43.
4 minutes and 43 seconds, and pressing play now.
11:31. The suspect shooting in between the vehicle is when it began. While the patrol vehicle gets to the funeral home. Multiple shots are fired outside the school at 11:31. Patrol car accelerates in the parking lot. Drives by the shooter. That's exactly what I was talking about. It was the ISD officer at that time. He passes and then leaves the camera view. There's multiple shots.
Hold up. Hold up.
What
Where are you at? Yeah, where are you at?
I paused it. I'm at 5 minutes and 13 seconds.
Okay, so literally another patrol car passed the guy who was shooting at people. So two police officers pass the guy who's shooting at people and don't notice him? Is this guy casting like magical spells or something with invisibility that no one sees him? What the fuck's going on?
No, go ahead.
Am I like going overboard here, or am I getting it wrong?
No, you have every right, because you are right. And I hope people really point the fuck out of this, because some people are going to, everybody, those cop supporters, which is, not all cops are assholes, mind you, when I say this, but they're going to totally ignore these factors and be like, they did the best.
Yeah, but, I mean, let me just read this thing. It says, how did the cop not, this is from Superman, how did the cop not hear the bullets being shot at the school? I don't know. Soothmom also says, all the while the teacher is calling for help and has the door wide open. She's probably panicking, the teacher, my guess. And then PJ says, yeah, nothing they did made any sense. And then Soothmom says, these kids did not have to die. This was an opportunity killing for him. An opportunity that did not have to exist. Two police officers don't see bullets and hear a gun. Yeah, I don't understand how you can miss a guy literally behind a wrecked car shooting at a funeral home first, and then decides to shoot at the school, and then proceed. And then they
He
go
was in a
now.
black truck.
Yeah, but I saw the black truck. It was literally crashed in a ditch.
Oh yeah,
it was
the towers were off the rim. Like I don't even know how he didn't have a moment in that kind of crash. You would think that he would be in the car for at least 10 minutes just to shake it off type deal.
And then Soothmom says, Officer Grady Jude did a press conference after this one, pointing out all their flaws. Yeah, there are multiple flaws. I'm not even a police officer. I'm like, holy shit. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is not tough to see. Like, a guy shooting guns. Most likely the guy shooting guns is the person you want to stop. Let's just say that much. But the guy is literally... So let's continue.
5 minutes and 13 seconds.
Okay, go.
pressing play now.
27, 11:32:36. At 11:33 is when the suspect entered the school at the door that I'm pointing to now. At 11:33, the suspect begins shooting into room 111 or 112. It's not possible to determine from the video angle that we have at this point in time. We do know this, that he shot more than 100 rounds based on the audio evidence at that time, at least 100 rounds. He entered at 11:33, or 11:33 he started shooting in the classrooms, 111 and 112. And 11:35, 3 police officers entered the same door as the suspect entered. All 3 of those police officers worked for the Uvalde Police Department. They were later followed by another 4, a team of Uvalde police officers, 3, and also a county deputy sheriff. So a total of 7 officers were on the scene. The 3 initial police officers that arrived went directly to the door, and 2 received grazing wounds at that time from the suspect while the door was closed. At 11:37, there was more gunfire. Another 16 rounds was fired at 11:37. 1 at 11:37 and 16 seconds, 11:38, 11:40, 11:44. At 11:51, a police sergeant and USB agents started to arrive. At 12:03,
So stop that.
officers
Pausing.
So were they doing a shootout for the entire 20 minutes, or were they just like standing around doing nothing because they got a gray shot?
I honestly, there's gonna be a lot of unanswered questions. I mean, I'm gonna tell you this right now. This guy, this character who we're seeing right now, I don't know who he is. He even seems frustrated that he has to be up at the microphone saying all this. I think he even was like, "Oh, y'all fucked up."
Yeah, and then Soothmom says, can't wait to see body cam footage. You'll never see the body cam footage. I'm telling you now, they're probably going to lose that body cam footage. I guarantee you that they're probably going to index it like with 001055 and stuff it in the system so it can never be found. It says, yeah, we lost the body cam footage. We don't know what happened to it because that shit's not going. Or they might not even have body cam footage. Officer Grady Jude, we need more police like him, honestly. PJ says, and they got grazed and then went keeping parents away. Yeah, I don't know what grazed means. That they just got like flesh wounds. They didn't get shot. Like I get grazed by cutting the bamboo in the back of my house. This doesn't mean I stop cutting the bamboo in the back of my house. I mean, like what were we talking about the injuries here? And also, it looked like what? It was like 7 officers? Why couldn't they storm the place? They obviously had guns. Like, why are they just sitting around?
I have no fucking idea how this is acceptable. This isn't acceptable whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Like, these guys, they should all be fired. Every single one of them should be fired at this point. Like, I'm at the opinion every single one of them needs to lose their job. And also, another thing I wanted to point out, when I was watching Slay TCN and I was watching Soothmom, like the guy they had before, the young guy, he sounded like so fed up by answering questions. And that guy pissed me off, like honestly. The younger guy that was doing the questionings beforehand, I was like, this guy, what the fuck's wrong with this? What's the fucking wrong with this guy? The news reporters want to know what the hell's going on. You're not answering questions. You're not answering questions about the 45 fucking minutes that you all or 40 minutes, 40 fucking minutes where you all just sat there asking for someone to help them while you had like 100 police officers watching parents, unarmed parents screaming, save my children, and then you start thinking of pepper spraying them and putting fucking handcuffs on them. I mean, honestly, guys. Like, give me a break. Give me a fucking break. So.
And we're like at 7 minutes.
Okay, we're at 6:51.
We're at 6:51 and pressing play now.
Continued to arrive in the hallway, and there was many as 19 officers at that time in that hallway.
19 officers.
19.
At 12:15, we know that BORTAC members arrived. Not the entire BORTAC, but members of BORTAC, along with Shields.
Wait a minute, stop it again.
What's BORTAC? Oh, Border Control.
So they waited till border control. They had 19 officers. What do they think? This guy was Rambo or something? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Even if his body armor had the plating in it, they could have still done. They could have handicapped him. They could have done anything.
Yeah, and they probably had shotguns and machine guns, like, at this point, like AR-15s or something.
Body armor only protects the organs in your chest, your back. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it protects your heart, obviously, but you could have handicapped him. You could have shot a kneecap. You could have shot his arm. You could have shot him in the head. You could have shot him anywhere, but just decided not to.
So, Sooth Mom says the Border Patrol agent who did storm in went against police orders. So basically, it could have lasted longer than 40 minutes?
Good for him. Fuck that. I would have done the same thing. I would have been looking around like, you cowards. And I would have...
I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these people? 19! The guy has an AR-15. Even if that shit was modified, which I looked up and I didn't see anything that said it was modified. The thing should have not been... It's not going to fucking shoot 19 guys with guns.
I don't think
I'm sorry.
I don't think he had enough time to modify it, because he got it... His birthday was like May 6th or something.
Yeah, he got it as a birthday present. I don't know how... Like, people are wondering how did he get $4,000 and all this money for the guns, and I don't know. I was looking up. I was like,
AR is that much.
I think it was $2,000. I've heard from people. I'll have to look. I don't want to do Googles.
But the grandfather did say he did not. This coward did not have a license either, and he wants to know who the fuck took him to go get it.
Let me see. How much does an AR-15? It's $2,000.
Yeah.
It's $2,000. Now I'm on the FBI. Thanks, Tony. I'm on the FBI wanting list for looking up fucking AR-15s and how much.
We live in a fucking America right now. That's totally innocent because this is America.
When I get the knock on the FBI, fucking when they're looking at saying, "Well, were you looking up AR-15s on your website?" But then it says, Soothmom says they were waiting for the SWAT and told them to stand down. How many kids would have been saved if they could have got help 40 minutes sooner? Yeah, I mean, like, why would you wait? The guy is shooting the kids. The kids are unarmed at that point. You are like 20 guys are literally standing there with weapons. You can literally storm you can invade a small fucking building of I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's one guy. It's one guy with a gun. I mean,
it's literally one guy with a gun. One skinny little punk ass.
What happened? What happened to the saying where it said, "Hey, the only thing that could stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun."
Yeah,
where's the good guys?
The good guy with the guns are outside picking their asses. But this is a scrawny little fucking kid. He's 18 years old. He looks like a little Ramirez, Night Stalker. Like, if you guys seen his picture of him holding a cell, he looks like a little Night Stalker himself. And they were scared. How were you scared of that? Good thing that Border Patrol. If not, we could have lost more. My God.
Well, I don't think we could have lost more because because they shot everyone. They just basically shot there. He could have probably made a meal. He could have probably, if there was a kitchen there, he could have kicked himself a fucking meal.
Or something. Yeah.
While he was waiting for the SWAT team, maybe even the steak dinner. I mean, made some mashed potatoes while he was waiting.
Why wait for the SWAT team?
I don't know.
They already had body armor on. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you, but let's continue. We're 7:12. Let's go.
7 minutes and 13 seconds.
All right.
Pressing play now.
The suspect fired again. Was believed to be at the door. 11:21, law enforcement moved down the hallway. At 11:50, they breached the door using keys that they're able to get from the janitor because both doors were locked. Though both of the classrooms that he shot into were locked when officers arrived. They killed the suspect at that time. And now I'd like to go over the 911 timeline. So I warn you,
he's not even prepared for this. Just like how your whole department's not prepared for this.
It's better that I read it than you listen to it. The caller identified, I'll not say her name, but she was in room 112, called 911 at 12:03.
That's one of the kids.
The duration of the call was 1 minute and 23 seconds. She identified herself and whispered she's in room 112. At 12:10, she called back in room 12, advised there multiple dead. 12:13, again she called on the phone. Again at 12:16, she called back and said there was 8 to 9 students alive. At 12:19, a 911 call was made, and another person in room 111 called. I will not say her name. She hung up when another student told her to hang up. At 12:21, you could hear over the 911 call that 3 shots were fired. At 12:36, 911 call, it lasted for 21 seconds. The initial caller called back, student, child, called back, was told to stay on the line and be very quiet. She told 911 that he shot the door. At approximately 12:43 and 12:47, she asked 911 to please send the police now. At 12:46, she said that she could hear the police next door. At 12:50, shots are fired. They can be heard over the 911 call. And at 12:51 is very loud and sounds like the officers are moving children out of the room. At that time, the first child that called was outside before the call cuts off.
Stop it.
I don't know if he's incompetent or I don't know if he's emotional. I don't know what's going on, but he needs to get his shit together. That's all.
Yeah, I think he's emotional, but the thing is, I think like one of the punishments I would have for these fucking officers that sit outside, they need to listen to the 911 call of all those kids that died. They need to listen to it because they let those kids die. You absolutely you should like immediately quit your jobs and you should listen to those tapes because you let those kids die. They're dead because of you. Simple as that. I mean, you know, I mean, like in Dante's Inferno, those who fucking just pick no side get the worst end of hell. They don't even enter hell. They don't even enter heaven. They basically just fly around with following a blank fucking flag because they did nothing. And that is the greatest sin of all. Because you did nothing. And you just watched children die because you were fucking cowardly. Cowardly motherfuckers. Unbelievable. So anyway, let's continue with this fucking disaster of a press conference.
10 minutes and 7 seconds. Pressing play now.
Additional information that we have is that there are 58 total magazines at the school related to the crime scene. 11 of those magazines were inside the school. 3 were on the suspect's body. 2 in room 112, 6 inside room 111. 5 were on the ground, 1 was in the rifle. There were 32 magazines outside the school, but on school property. 1 just outside the school building and 31 in the suspect's backpack that he did not take into the classrooms with him. There was 15 magazines at the crash site. There were 2 magazines at the suspect's residence for a total of 60 magazines. He had purchased
60.
a total of 1,657 total rounds of ammunition. 350 of those rounds were inside the school. 142
Not even military soldiers
those
have
were
that
spent
much on
cartridges.
them.
173 were live rounds. 922 were outside of the school, but on school property. 22 of those were spent cartridges. 900 were live rounds. 422 were at the crash site. 22 were spent cartridges. 420 of those were live rounds.
He got all
There's
this time to
35
do
spent
this.
law enforcement cartridges total in the school. 8 of those were in the hallway. 27 were inside the classroom. 111 where the suspect was killed. I mentioned that I'm going to go over quickly a digital timeline. One thing we talked about early, and I want to correct something that was said early on in the investigation, is that he posted, on Facebook publicly that he was going to kill he was going to shoot his grandmother. And secondly, after that he was going to, that he had shot her, and the third, that he was going to go shoot up a school. That did not happen. It was actually on a message. It was a Facebook messenger application to somebody else that he had a conversation with. We know that through his digital media footprint, and I'll just do by date time, that Ramos asked his sister to help him buy a gun. She flatly refused. That was in September of 21. He made...
Good on her.
I'll avoid some of these and get to the... He had Instagram, a 4-group chat, and it was discussed that Ramos being a school shooter. That was on February 28th of 2022. On March 1st of 2022, there was an Instagram he had with 4 people. It was a chat. He discussed him buying a gun. On March 3rd, 2022, there's another 4-person chat. Quotations, word on the street is you are buying a gun. Ramos replied, just bought something. RN. On March 14th, and there was an Instagram posting by the subject, in quotations, 10 more days. A user replied, are you going to shoot up school or something? The subject replied, no, and stop asking dumb questions and you will see.
Stop it for a moment.
This is the generation, though. Like, you're gonna shoot up the school. I know that in like 4chan and memes and stuff, they like to make jokes like that. But it's never funny.
If I said that with my friends in RL when I was a kid, they probably would have like said, "Get the fuck away from me, weirdo," or they would have beat the shit out of me. I think they probably would have beat the shit out of me for good reason too. Soothbomb, how many? Okay, so Soothbomb, most of it was out of the car. His target was not the school, in my opinion. It is just where he ended up because of the police chase, etc. Tell me why no one ever reported these messages. Well, the first message where he basically talked about his Sprint phone and shooting his grandmother in the face was he was messaging a woman in Germany. Like, this guy was like an incel too. Like, this guy was like, and it like virgin basically, and he was like trying to look for girls foreign and trying to impress them with his videos. He's a real loser. He was an absolute fucking loser. So she was in Germany, so I don't think she could have.
She was also 15 as well, so I don't think she was like how does somebody in Germany notify? Like, it's, I guess, she's a 15-year-old,
Yeah, he was basically trying to groom a 15-year-old German girl. So he was a real scumbag all the way around. And probably the people who he was talking to probably thought he was joking, but I mean, I saw the picture of him, and if he said he was going to shoot a school, I would believe him, because the guy looks like a real fucking psycho.
He looks like a little Ramirez.
Yeah, I mean, he looks really fucking bad. Honestly think these guys need to get thrown into like a bad neighborhood when they're kids, so they can get beat up.
Well, pardon me, I'm not going to judge him by the way he looks, because
I'm judging him.
But we
I'm
see a
judging
lot
him,
of
by the way.
innocent people. Like, we got to remember the West Memphis 3. They were accused of something. They were put away just because they wore black and listened to Metallica. But there was actual physical signs because he harmed animals. The things he said. Do you get what I'm saying? There was red flags. It's just I don't think any of the parents knew. No adult knew.
Yeah. So let's continue.
13 minutes and 52 seconds. Press
okay,
play
go.
now.
I know you have many questions, and I've agreed to
10 minutes of
stay
this
as
video
long
is
as
just
you
him
can
shuffling through
answer
paper.
as many of those questions as
Yeah.
you can. If I can't answer it because we don't know,
Give this guy an iPad, bro.
And it continues to be a preliminary investigation. There's, literally, certainly over hundreds of interviews have been conducted, will continue to be conducted, and there's thousands of leads that are being pursued, not consecutively, but concurrently. And thanks to our federal and local partners, and I do want to mention behind me, we've got the FBI Special Agent in charge. We also have an ATF Special
Stop
Agent in
this.
charge, or
Stop it.
Yeah, I paused it.
Okay, why the fuck does it matter you got all these police officers now investigating? We don't need an investigation, man. We know what happened. The guy went into the place and shot up a school. Do we really need...
investigations? We need an investigation on what's going on, what happened with the shooter. We need another investigation to this motherfucker's
I think we need...
department.
That's the investigation we need.
Yeah.
We need an investigation of the department. We know what happened. The guy's dead. The kids are dead. And it's all because you all basically decided the biggest threat of the day was the parents who were trying to save their kids. So can we do an investigation on that? Possibly? Can we do an investigation on that idea? Maybe that would be good. And maybe, mister, before you go to a press conference, not have like 100 fucking loose leaf papers. Why don't you have like...
pieces of paper that he keeps shuffling. It's literally not that many pieces of paper.
Get one of those little note cards, have a section in your note cards. Get a teleprompter. Get something, bro. I know you're like 80 years old, but, even 80-year-olds know they get like notepads and shit. Like, what the fuck is this conference? And then he reads the text messages, which I didn't even understand what the fuck he was talking about. I was like, okay, so he said he was gonna shoot a school to his friend, and then he didn't say it. I'm like, it's nonsensical. It's nonsensical bullshit because he's not organized. He probably needs to fucking go to bed soon to take a nap time. I don't know. Let's go. Let's continue. This disaster.
Okay, 14 minutes and 39 seconds. Play now.
ASAC, okay. And of course, who else? What I got behind?
Oh God.
Okay, with Texas Rangers. If there's any specifics that I haven't covered that I might need their particular support on. I do want to cover one thing quickly though before I go to questions, and that's some of the questions that we received that we have already received. And one of those is going around now that in fact the subject had been one of the two arrested by the Texas Rangers, the local police, back in 2018. That's not the case. He was not one of the individuals. In fact, we have found no links, associations, and relationships in that investigation. Clearly it was a threat. It was back in 2018. The two juveniles were charged with attempted or conspiracy to commit capital murder. There's no question that we thought, and we had evidence, and certainly the district attorney agreed, that these juveniles, one 13, one 14 years old, was a threat to Uvalde. And there was a discussion at that time, even the senior year of the one that was 14 years old, which would make it 2022. However, that was not the subject. Questions?
Give your answers.
Huh?
Tony's going to translate the Spanish out.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, one thing I want to say, one thing I failed to say is that when we're done, we have Tony Peña with us. He's going to translate into Spanish, okay, what the answers and the questions are afterwards. Yeah.
Oh my God, what a disaster.
Stop chewing!
None at that time. The
19! None!
On-scene commander at the time believed that it had transitioned from an active shooter to a barricaded subject.
I put subtitles on for people to hear the questions.
Hey, we're well aware of that. Yeah. Again, the on-scene commander considered it a barricaded subject and that there was time and there were no more children at risk. Obviously, based upon the information we have, there were children in that classroom that were at risk, and it was, in fact, still an active shooter situation and not a barricaded subject.
Stop it. Stop it. Hold up, bro. Hold the fuck up. So he basically said it transitioned to a barricaded situation, but you have people calling in that are in the barricaded situation asking for help to the police, so they know there's people with a guy with a gun. So why the fuck did they not say to themselves, well, he's barricaded with a bunch of kids? That's like if like someone like put like a bunch of kids in a cage with a fucking lion, and then it says, well, the lion's barricaded, so everything's okay. Let's all take a 40-minute break while the lion eats the kids. I mean, what's your thoughts on this?
I have no good thoughts on it. That's why I'm staying quiet.
That's what you're saying. You're like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is absolutely insane.
You have no idea what's going on in my head right now. Like it's better to stay quiet instead of sounding incriminating. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm that angry. But I also accidentally pressed the wrong key. What time are we at?
We're at 1743.
1743. Okay. There we go, 1743. Yeah, so it's better to say nothing.
That's always a good idea when you're about to commit a crime. Let's play.
Okay, pressing play now. What just happened?
It's the video, it froze. It's just normal.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure it wasn't my end. Okay.
I think it skips, so go to 1808. He's literally like walking.
There we go.
He's literally like walking like a senile moment to across the thing.
Who is he talking to?
I don't know. This is supposed to be a press conference about like 21 people dead, and they look like they just let like senior citizen moment guy walk off. Okay, let's play it. This disaster of a press conference at 1808.
Is there?
And if the 911 operators.
Why aren't there microphones?
Wait, hold on a second. I'm gonna rewind it at 1826. That's where I'm gonna rewind it to.
No, just 1808. 1808.
No. Well, I already played that. He's coming back to the podium now to ask the question, and I don't know if y'all are gonna hear the question. I did put subtitles on for y'all to see. But the question was, why is there a 40-minute gap? Is what the question is going to be answered.
What's the time again?
18 minutes and 26 seconds.
Okay, go.
Okay, pressing play now.
The question simply is this: there's a 40-minute gap, and if the 911 operators were aware that children were alive in that classroom, why weren't officers notified of that? And if that's the case, why didn't they take action? That's the question. And again, I'll go back to the answer for right now, is that it was considered.
The answer for
okay,
right
the
now.
decision was made on the scene. I wasn't there, but at the same point in time, a decision was made that this was a barricaded situation. There was time.
What is a barricaded subject situation?
Pausing. Google it.
What is it? What is a barricade? He keeps on repeating like the same shit. I feel like I'm going crazy.
Isn't it like there's a shooter in the building, but all the doors are locked, and they just thought he was barricaded into one corner?
Because I know I'm not the only one. Versus barricade. Yeah, someone actually explains it. Southwest. Okay. Explain active shooter versus barricaded suspect's response. Also, by the way, people, if you don't know, the Supreme. Let me just tell people this right now. Well, 1 second. Yeah, so the Supreme Court, this is what I want to tell you. Police have no duty to protect the public. Okay, this is something people don't know this, but I did this a while ago. I read this a while ago because Supreme Court precedent holds that the American police have no legal obligation to protect the public. Last Wednesday, after a 24-hour search, a suspect was apprehended in a New York City Sunset Park subway shooting that injured 10 people. Let me just read the article. 10 people. Admitted in predictable gun control and police debate. Oh, god damn it. One moment, I'm blocking me.
Wait, did this happen in New York? The train you missed?
No, this is not. This is something else. But this is a Supreme Court ruling that the police don't have to protect you. If, like, let's say you get robbed in the middle of the street and they do nothing, they can't be held accountable for it.
But that's their fucking job.
Yeah, like, look, Supreme Court precedent holds that American police have no legal obligation to protect public. Last Wednesday, after a 24-hour search, a suspect was apprehended in New York City Sunset Park subway shooting and injured at least 10 people. Amid the predictable gun control, the police funding debates that have begun rile across social media, it's fair to also ask why wasn't the NYPD more effective in response to the situation? After the shooting, the NYPD was faulted for not... so basically, the precedent is... There's a Supreme Court precedent that they don't have to protect you. That they could just be like, whatever, whatever. That's it.
Why do we pay taxes for these people not to protect us?
Well, you know what? One moment. I gotta pull up the Supreme Court precedent so you just know. Whatever. Second. I gotta pull it up, my bad. Fucking New York Times. Like, I'm tired of these paywalls, bro. I wish people... Okay, so let me see. Police have no duty to protect you. Federal court affirms yet again. Police have no duty to protect you. Federal court affirms yet again. Following up last February shooting school, offer as well as I'm trying to look for the damn precedent. 1 second. Anyway, just so you guys know, is it true? Yeah, okay, now I found it. The court has ruled that the primary purpose of the police is to protect society, not the individual. Members of the society, the duties of the police are to deter crimes through visible patrols and investigate crimes, to collect evidence, and to arrest those who commit crimes and aid in the prosecution of those persons. If you call the police for assistance, you either fail to arrive in time to prevent harm to you or others, or they fail to arrive at all, you cannot sue them for those failures. Even if the 911 operator assures you the cops are on the way, or they'll send someone shortly, you still cannot sue them. One of the earlier cases known of this was one, consider the case of Linda Riss, in which a young woman telephoned the police and begged for help because her ex-boyfriend had repeatedly threatened. If I can't have you, no one else will. This is the boyfriend. If I can't have you, no one else will have you. And when I get through with you, no one else will want you. The day after she had pleaded for the police protection, the ex-boyfriend threw a lie in her face, blinding her one eye, severely damaging the other, and permanently scarring the features. What makes the city position particularly difficult to understand, wrote the dissenting opinion in her tort suit against the city, is that in conformity to the dictates of the law, Linda did not carry any weapons for self-defense. Thus, by rather bitter irony, she was required to rely for protection of the city of New York, which now denies all responsibility, Bruce versus New York. So basically, they had no, so they can't be sued. They my guess is them standing out there for 40 minutes. They're not going to get sued. They're not going to lose the case because there's already precedent that they didn't have to protect those kids.
So even if the parents want to make action and be like, you failed us, there's just nothing they can do at this point except...
Yeah, they're not going to get any money back. And then Sleepon says, I told you that this was going to take you off. Yeah, what? And all right, Sleepon, we'll see you later. I know you got your stream soon. But
keep safe.
So I think everyone that keeps on saying they're going to sue the sheriff's department, they're not going to. They might try to, but what are they going to be able to sue if there's multiple precedents that police officers can just sit there and let you get robbed or killed in front of them? So I just wanted to point that out before I move on to it, and also now explain active shooter versus barricade suspect. Okay, responding officers in Uvalde, Texas, believe the gunman inside Robb. Let me skip this shit. An active shooter situation newspaper law enforcement should try to eliminate the shooter as soon as possible, but the approach is much different in a barricaded subject or hostage. Instead, officers are advised not to rush into a room while a hostage or barricade scenario is taking place, according to Pete Blair, the executive director of the Advanced Law Enforcement and Rapid Response Training Center. Blair spoke with News Nation Thursday about the general protocol, but did not draw any conclusions about the Uvalde shooting, specifying his interview was conducted before the investigation release. They could, and then it says, police waited for more than 40 minutes during the shooting response. They could create a situation where the attackers start shooting hostages, Blair said. So if the attackers is not killing people, the default is kind of to try to negotiate the door to stall time to get the SWAT team there. Uvalde, on the scene commander at the time of the shooting, believed the situation had transitioned from an active shooter to a barricade situation, according to McCrow. McCrow added that in hindsight it was the wrong decision. About 45 minutes passed before the officers entered the room using keys from the janitor. The police said shots during that time were sporadic, and it's unclear how many children died. So this is my point. How could you say it's a hostage situation if you got in calls saying that people are being shot? It's not a hostage situation anymore. If they're shooting the hostages...
I'm just gonna... How can I word this without sounding like a complete asshole? Cops are urban soldiers. Let's be real. I might not like a lot of cops, but I expect a cop to be brave, to be selfless, and to put his life on the line. That is your job. Period. If you are a coward and cannot do your job, turn in your badge and your gun and reevaluate your life. Be a gardener. Make dresses. Do something else than this. 'Cause 19 kids and 2 adults is on their hands right now. And I don't want to hear, oh, this was a mistake, or, they hesitate. No, cops should not have that excuse.
Yeah, I think the problem is that they basically... They completely failed. And that's the main situation. And is there anything else?
Yeah, I just noticed the time. We're not going to be able to get through this. Sleuth Mom is going live, as far as I know. Again, I don't know if she's...
We'll go through more of this on Monday. I'll look through it.
Well,
maybe we'll cut out.
We're not going to be live Monday. We're going
Tuesday.
to be live that Friday. Depending, yeah.
Friday. So maybe we'll go Friday. We'll do like a double. We'll continue the story. Yeah. We'll go through more of the press conference. We'll highlight it. Unfortunately, we couldn't get through because we had to go through a lot of it. Sorry about that, guy.
There is a video here that we probably have time for. It's 7 minutes long, and it's how police officers should have reacted to the Texas elementary school shooting.
Let's do that then. What's the video? Toss it to me. We'll start that.
Okay, hold on.
Meantime, veterans of law enforcement.
I'm gonna put it in the group, or do you want me in IM?
Either or.
Okay. There we go. Let me rewind it. This video is from PBS NewsHour, so credit goes to them. And I'm at 0 seconds. You all good?
Yeah, I'm ready. Go.
Okay, pressing play now.
Meantime, veterans of law enforcement are weighing in now on the controversial actions taken by those police officers during the shooting. William Brangham has more on that.
That's right. I mean, as we just heard from Amna, those officials are being harshly criticized for not acting sooner to confront the shooter and to potentially save some of those children, actions that they now admit were wrong. To help us better understand what police should and shouldn't do in these awful circumstances, I'm joined by Fred Fletcher. He's the retired police chief of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and he also spent many years as a police commander in Austin, Texas. Fred Fletcher, thanks for being here tonight. You've heard the timeline that investigators have laid out. 19 armed police officers are in the school, outside the rooms where that shooter is locked in 2 rooms with some young students, and there is this punishingly long wait before they go through that door and confront him. I mean, as a former police chief, as someone who has trained a lot of police officers, what is your reaction to this?
I feel a great deal of grief, and my heart breaks for Uvalde. And when I think of those 29 minutes in particular that lapsed between the officers stacking up outside that door, shots being fired, and them finally breaching the door. That grief is compounded with a great deal of anger and some shame that we as a community have allowed this violence to continue on our children.
I mean, the officials today said that the local commander on the scene felt that this was a barricade situation where the shooter was simply holed up on his own and that there wasn't a threat to others, rather than an active shooter situation where there was a threat. What do you make of that distinction that they are making?
I agree with Director McCraw. It was the wrong decision, period, and there's no excuse for that. I can't say it better than Director McCraw did, that an active shooter has demonstrated they have no intention other than taking lives, and we know, certainly since Columbine in the late 90s, that active shooters are only going to stop when we intervene and we stop them.
I mean, I know...
As first responders... Go ahead, William.
No, please, Fred, continue.
I was just going to say, we have an obligation to have a bias towards action. Police officers regularly run towards gunfire, and we train an active shooter preparation to engage, to draw the attention, emotion, energy, and fire from the shooter so that we put ourselves between violence and the neighbors we're sworn to protect. We have to have a bias towards action, and those decisions need to be left to the men and women who are on the...
Pause.
So what this guy is basically saying is that maybe they should have done their jobs and actually started shooting at the guy and tried to distract him from shooting the innocent children and women and children. Do you think that's a correct statement, or do you think... I think it's a correct statement.
Yes, he's actually on point. I think a lot of us now that... See, at the beginning when this happened, obviously we were, more mortified about, it's children. And I don't think until after the dust settled, like right now, the dust is settling. Now we're sitting back and we're going, wow, mistakes are made. Like, in these mistakes, they're not even mistakes. Usually a mistake, you're like, oh, I fucked up, da-da-da. There has to be another word for this. It's a fuck up. It's a disappointment. You have blood on your hands.
I mean, like, this guy basically was shooting people. They understood that he was shooting people, and they decided to basically handcuff the parents. Absolutely. Congratulations. Absolutely. Congratulations. I mean, that's a great idea. They really did their jobs. Fantastic job. But anyway, let's continue. I mean, like, just fucking crazy. All right.
Equally as devastating as when it rolled out. Because now you're going, oh my god, we could have saved maybe, 10 more kids. We could have saved 10 of those kids, or we could have saved all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Pressing play now.
Scene who have the information, not to a commander who is off the scene and receiving delayed information.
I mean, one of the most haunting aspects of this horrendous circumstance is that we know that while those officers are outside the room, that there are children inside that room calling 911 saying, we can hear the police out there. Could you please tell them to come in? I mean, that seems that there's a tremendous breakdown in communication, that was not relayed to those officers outside that room.
Clearly, there are many questions about communication and passing of information. That's why we need to train, empower, and trust the officers who are on the scene of the violence to make the decisions to protect our neighbors. That they need to know that they are empowered and they are supported in intervening and engaging and taking that bias towards action so that they can engage a shooter, a violent perpetrator, and keep them from harming our neighbors.
You said that should be the bias in all of police training. Is that what police officers are trained? If you go through active shooter training, is this a nationally understood issue that in those cases, you don't wait for backup, you don't wait for the SWAT team, that you have to act? Is that what they're taught?
Absolutely. We're literally taught and we teach that whether there's 1 or 100 of you, you move to the sound of gunfire and you place yourself between violence and the innocents. That's our job. That's our fundamental obligation. It's the way we train and it's the way we deploy.
And what if there are circumstances where we understand that there were a lot of wounded children in there. We also understand that police were trying to evacuate, or at least that's what they were telling parents that were being restrained outside, that there was evacuations going on as well. How are police supposed to prioritize those in the midst of these circumstances?
Not an uncommon situation, William. Again, the bias is towards engaging the threat. You stop the threat because you have a perpetrator who has demonstrated a desire to kill as many people as possible. So the number one priority is always engaging the threat, intervening and eliminating the threat. Often you're able to do multiple things at once if you have enough resources. You can evacuate, you can stage, you can treat simultaneously. But in any active situation, a bias, an intent, a priority has to be given to finding, engaging, and eliminating that active violent threat to our neighbors.
As you well know, as a former police chief, we are a nation that is awash in these high-powered, lightweight, very, very dangerous semi-automatic rifles. Officers in that hallway had to know what they were up against. And this is not to try to excuse anything about their actions, but do you think that concern that they may be up against weaponry that is perhaps even more powerful than what many of them were themselves carrying, do you think that factored into this as well?
I think that if police officers are going to be deterred and intimidated by violent perpetrators carrying weapons of war, then we as a community should commit ourselves to doing something so that people can't kill our children with these weapons of war. I'm ashamed that we as a community, that our elected officials have sat on the sideline as children from Sandy Hook to today in Uvalde are killed by these weapons of war, when we know there are common sense reforms supported by a majority of Americans that can have an impact on the availability of these weapons to kill our children.
I will end that. Let's stop it there.
Former police chief
So,
Fred Fletcher,
pretty
thank
much
you very much for being with us tonight.
common sense. Pretty much common sense. How about fucking not allowing the fucking AR-15 to exist anymore, to be bought and sold? I know people like the gun, but honestly, the gun's been used on like so many fucking shootings. I can't even name them all and remember them all. And also more background checks. But what's your closing statement before we end up? What's your thing?
I think we need to, first and foremost, remember the lives lost. Say a little prayer for their families, because they're going to be mourning for a very long time. This is life-changing, and we'll never know how they feel. Before you make a post, I do ask people, send prayers, send love. Let's not make this political right away. Let's get to the nitty-gritty of it, obviously, but give it some time. Their families are still mourning, but other than that, I have nothing but anger and rage for the events that have happened, and I don't even know why.
You're angry because of basically the people that you trusted and believed to protect the public have done nothing.
Well, I mean, I don't know, there's still no reason, why he did it to begin with. Do you get what
He did it because he was a destructive piece of shit. The guy was an evil person who was a destructive piece of shit that only knew how to destroy things in life. And he was not thankful at all for his family, and he didn't give a shit about his community, and he was also a horrible person. So that's the reason. Sometimes evil people do evil things for no fucking reason. There's no grand conspiracy and there's no grand plan. They just want to see the world burn. They just want to see the world destroy things, and they don't care who they hurt. So that's pretty much the situation. That's my closing.
It's fucking horrible.
So I guess that ends it. So we're gonna show up next week, hopefully. Tony's going to be in a dentist.
Yeah, and if anybody wants updates on that, I do post updates, so we know what's going on, what shows are going to be canceled, what shows are going to be going on. Please keep an eye on the Zero to Manic 3.0 page, and you'll get the updates there.
Yep. Thanks for listening and watching. hopefully we don't have another shooting situation, because this is just getting very fucking tiring. I would like to do fun streams, not go through a list of dead children, to be honest with you, on a Friday night, but that's the truth.
So
Anyway.
it's very important though to get their
Yeah.
faces out, because we're losing sight.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Have a good weekend, and have a good, holiday weekend. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
Columbine, Virginia Tech,
Tucson.